Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
954-922-4633. Online, BrightonDentalCare.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry.
Good morning. Good morning. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Everyone like the video. We got a lot to talk about today.
Including long-term
Oh, man.
Call Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group and find out what benefits are available to you. With offices in Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale, call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782.
All right, it's showtime.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-COCAINE 1. That's 1-888-COCAINE 1.
Indeed. Welcome, everyone. Yes, yes. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this year, the Steve Kane Show. Oh, man. It just seems like the other day we were celebrating 40 years. So 50 years on the radio is, well, less than 5 years away. Oh, my goodness. We've got a lot to talk about today. Your calls are certainly welcome as well at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. We'll talk about what happened in New York yesterday in a little bit. Don't worry. I know what's going on. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll also talk about Bidenflation and this disaster that Obama, might as well be Obama, that Biden announced yesterday in Iowa. You know, when the bird dropped some dew on Biden. We'll talk about all that stuff. Don't you worry. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. My name is Brian Craig, as I said. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Oh, man, we've got so much to go into today. But I want to start with this Chris Wallace thing. Chris Wallace is, you know, if I put down a list of the people I dislike the most, I'm not a hateful guy. I don't hate people, you know. But there's a lot of people I seriously dislike. And if I was to put a list together, in the top 5 people I dislike the most, of course, 2 of them are at CNN. Brian Stelter and Chris Wallace. And there's just a beautiful story about Chris Wallace today that I thought is a good way to start the show, because it's something that we can, you know, celebrate together and enjoy, start the day off right, and that is the misery of Chris Wallace. Now, Chris Wallace was, I believe, fired by his contract not being renewed from Fox News Channel, and I think they unloaded Chris Wallace because Chris Wallace drove millions of us to Newsmax TV. Newsmax TV was forgotten. Newsmax TV is hot. It's the number 4 rated cable news network in America right now, Newsmax TV. I love Newsmax TV, especially Greg Kelly, who's on weeknights at 7 Eastern Time on Newsmax TV. I think Greg Kelly's the best over there. I love Newsmax TV. But until Chris Wallace sent me over to Newsmax TV, I hadn't watched Newsmax TV in quite some time. Newsmax TV, when it first started out, I was a little disappointed in it. It was not very good. They had people like Todd Schnitt sitting, you know, it was very boring. And little did I know that Chris Ruddy, the founder of Newsmax, was up to a very, very sophisticated business plan to get Newsmax TV on virtually every cable system in America. And that was to be non-threatening to the other news networks. Put on a bunch of filler programming until he could get on all these cable systems. And I had not even realized that he had upgraded Newsmax TV to the level that it's currently at. I don't even know when that happened still. And Chris Wallace just drove millions of us over to Newsmax TV, and we're like, wow. I mean, it just happened. It happened so quick you could almost hear the clicks on the street where you live. And Newsmax, since that night, has not only had humongous gains in the ratings, becoming number 4 in cable news, Fox News has made multiple program changes to compete with Newsmax TV, and Fox News has not had competition since like 2000, right? What's the woman that, not Megan, Martha McCallum. Martha McCallum was getting beaten by Greg Kelly. She got demoted to another time slot, taken out of prime time. This Jesse Waters is an attempt to counter-program Newsmax TV. That's why they put Jesse Waters on up against Greg Kelly, because he's such a powerhouse. And that all happened because of Chris Wallace. You get my drift on that one. And they dumped him. They dumped him because of it. So he went over with his arrogance. You know, Chris Wallace thinks he's a somebody. What he is a spoiled baby entitlement with a famous name. His daddy was very famous and well-respected, Mike Wallace, on 60 Minutes, and he's gotten by on his daddy's name his entire career. Well, listen to this. Here is the headline in Breitbart this morning. Report: Chris Wallace having daily breakdowns over CNN Plus failure. Okay, now, yes, this is great. So, CNN has this app that no one's going to watch. It's a paid subscription app, CNN Plus. I mean, CNN's getting creamed with their regular cable network that's free. What possessed them to think that people will pay to watch anything CNN puts out there when they don't even want to watch the free programming you get from CNN, right? Oh, man. And their ratings really are much lower than they report. You know, CNN gets a lot of fake ratings because they're in every doctor's office and everything all over the country, hotel rooms and things like this. No one, you know. So the actual number of viewers we have more people listening to this radio program many days than watch CNN, and that's a fact. So somehow, when Chris Wallace got blown out of Fox News, somehow he got conned into thinking that he's a somebody to go to this CNN Plus app, and it's a disaster. So let's get to this. Breitbart: former Fox News anchor Chris Wallace has reportedly been breaking down in front of his crew over the miserable failure of the new streaming platform CNN Plus. The launch of CNN Plus has been anything but stellar, according to the latest statistics, with the platform drawing close to less than 10,000 daily viewers and even fewer subscribers. This is according to CNBC. Fewer than 10,000 people are using CNN Plus on a daily basis, 2 weeks into its existence, according to people familiar with the matter. The people spoke with CNBC on the condition of anonymity in order to discuss non-public data. CNN launched on March 29th. The subscription news streaming service, which charges $5.99 a month or $59.99 annually. What? To watch Chris Wallace and CNN? Are they crazy? Only became available on Roku Monday and still is not on Android TV. Still, the paltry audience cast doubt on the future of the app following the recently completed combination of Discovery and Warner Media into Warner Brothers Discovery. So see, it's already being predicted that the new owners, through this merger of CNN, are going to shut down the CNN Plus app. News of the disaster has not been well received by Chris Wallace. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Who left Fox News in late 2021 to join CNN Plus. And Chris Wallace has reportedly voiced this frustration to his staff, according to reporter John Nicosia. John Nicosia, he's a reporter with a blue checkmark on Twitter, tweeted that he has a source. Source says Chris Wallace is having daily breakdowns over the miserable launch of CNN Plus. He wants a CNN show, like on the cable network, or is threatening to walk. He's having staffers count how many times a day his CNN Plus promo is running on CNN. Well, I got an answer. You know, he's threatening to walk if he doesn't get a show. Bye, Felicia. That's what we said. Bye, Felicia. I like that expression, by the way. Oh, man. Chris Wallace announced his decision to leave Fox for CNN+. Yeah, right, announced his decision. Yeah, they made it for him. Saying he looked forward to the new freedom CNN+ would offer. I'm thrilled to join CNN+, Chris Wallace said. After decades in broadcasting cable news, I'm excited to explore the world of streaming. I look forward to the new freedom and flexibility streaming affords and interviewing major figures across the landscape and finding new ways to tell stories. As I embark on this adventure, I am honored and delighted to join Jeff Zucker and his great team. I can't wait to get started, he said. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Only, and this is an interesting thing. They got 10,000 downloads of it. I don't know how many of those are real. Out of the people that have downloaded the app, 10,000, how many are watching it? And I was just looking at my iPad here. I have so many apps here that I have never opened, or not for a long time, that I should be deleting. I don't even know what some of them are. They're counting downloads, not views. So, could you imagine what the real views are? This is what you get, Chris Wallace. Oh, man, this is a wonderful thing. This is a wonderful thing. And, it's a rejection of him. Who do you dislike more, Chris Wallace or Brian Stelter? I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I guess maybe Brian Stelter because we're exposed to him a little bit more than Chris Wallace in the news cycle. All right, listen, our number is 1-888-GO-CANE 1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Oh, man, it could not happen to a nicer guy. That's right. Oh, there's another article in Breitbart. Listen to this on CNN+. This is also Breitbart. Despite the hype, CNN's internet streaming service, CNN Plus, has already tanked in its first month after hiring the likes of left-wing sports commentators Jamil Hill and Rex Chapman. I don't know who Rex Chapman is. CNN's streaming service launched just 2 weeks ago to great fanfare, but now is being reported that the company is already gutting its investment into the service by millions. Left-wing Axios noted that the dramatic cut is being made in response to low adoption and disastrously low subscription levels. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It already appears mass layoffs are hitting CNN Plus. Oh man, I guess people don't, I'll tell you though what this is. And this is what Breitbart, they're talking around the edges. This isn't really personal with Chris Wallace totally. A little bit of it is. I don't like Chris Wallace. I imagine most of you don't like Chris Wallace. And Jamil Hill, she's just please nasty. What this really is, though, is a rejection of liberalism. The consumer of news, which are you in this audience. If you're listening to this program, you're a news person, right? Consumers of news, everywhere you look, are rejecting left-wing biased news. People don't want that. They don't want to be spoon-fed what to think. I think people are more into the Julian Assange type of news, and that is, just give you the hard data and let you decipher the information and decide for yourself. This idea that they don't even report news anymore. They give you a one-sentence headline, and then they tell you what you're supposed to think about it or what it means, like you can't figure it out on your own. People are rejecting this. They don't want to be spoon-fed news, which is what the mainstream corporate media have been doing. All right, 18 minutes after the hour, let's take our first break, all right? We'll take that break. We'll come back after this. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE 1. Wesley, $5 super chat. Thank you, Wesley. Everyone thank Wesley. Good morning, Brian. I just like Chris Wallace the most by far.
This is our first appearance in over 2 years, and all of you are invited. It's 11 a.m. till noon at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace. The Festival Marketplace is just east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road in Pompano. AJ's is located in front of the information booth next to the food court. Come meet Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, this Saturday, 11 a.m. till noon at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace. See you there.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the BioStation West Delray. At BioStation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
We've got you covered. AM 1470,
Where is
FM
that?
95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500.
Steve Kane Show.
954-939-1500.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, welcome back. I'm looking at the New York Post, with what's going on in New York. Brooklyn shooting survivor who sat next to the gunman watched him detonate a bomb. Well, okay, here we have Biden came out with, this is before the bird pooped on him yesterday. Did you guys see the bird pooped on Biden in a barn? Oh my goodness. How embarrassing. When has Biden had a good day in the news cycle? Biden does this big thing on gun control, and then in the city that has some of the strictest gun control in America, if not the strictest, New York City has this mass incident. And then I'm reading here he had a bomb. Now my understanding is, now again, I'm not a lawyer like Mark Levin, but don't we have 100%, everywhere in this country, do we not have 100% bomb control? No civilian is allowed to own a bomb, but they're saying that he detonated a bomb. If you have 100% bomb control everywhere, how could a person have a bomb? I guess the bomb bans don't work. And, I got another question for you. Why is no, I almost said something I don't know if I should say. I'll think about it. It was about the bird with the droppings on Biden. Nah, maybe I'll say it later. I don't know. I got to think about it. How can you have a mass shooting event in a city that has the strictest gun control laws in the nation, or pretty close to it, New York City? How's that even possible? You know why? Because lawbreakers do not obey the bomb control laws or the gun control laws. That's it. And, we don't have, they tell us that we need to have all these restrictions on guns. We have a lot of restrictions on guns already. I haven't bought a gun in a year. I bought a gun a year ago this month for my birthday last year. I had a waiting period. I went looking at shotguns last weekend. There's a waiting period. I just can't walk in and buy a gun and walk out. There's all kinds of restrictions. Okay? That's the way it is. I don't know why they think there are no restrictions on gun purchases, but I do know this. We have a 100% ban on bombs. There are not bomb stores or anything else, and this guy apparently had some type of bomb that this guy saw detonate. So, I got a couple audio clips of the guy in New York, which I'll play for you. I mean, it looks like, I know everyone wants to say he's a BLM guy. Well, he certainly is a supporter of Black Lives Matter and those things. But he also does seem to be mentally ill. And I don't say that lightly. Everyone likes to throw mental illness at everything. But I was watching, when I pulled up the audio of this guy in New York's videos, I'll play the audio in a little bit. But when I was watching the video, I could just see it in his face. He's severely mentally ill, and that's what it is. But they have complete gun control in New York City. They certainly have bomb control, and he was able to do them both. All right, let me take some calls. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. It's a toll-free call. And don't forget, come and meet Steve Kane and me Saturday from 11 a.m. till 12 at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace this Saturday. This is our first appearance in about 3 years, and we have no plans on any future appearances except for our cruise in January. If you want to come with us to Puerto Rico and all the wonderful places we're going on our cruise, you're certainly invited. But this is our first appearance in 3 years. I thought it was 2 when I recorded the promo, and then I realized it's been longer, and we have nothing planned in the future. So this is a rare opportunity to come out and meet me in person with Steve Kane at AJ's Wellness Shop over at the Festival Marketplace in Pompano. You are all invited, all right? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thomas from Boca. Good morning.
Hey, Boca, what's up?
Well, that for a while the media outlets wouldn't even use the word that the suspect was black, even though everybody described him as that. But now I don't know why they've changed the pictures out, I guess. But that wasn't the big news out of New York yesterday that everybody keeps
Lieutenant
ignoring.
Governor.
I mean, there was bigger news than that out of
Lieutenant
New York.
Governor watch. Okay, go ahead.
With the Lieutenant Governor resigning.
Yeah, well, I get you're probably from New York, right?
No, I'm in Boca.
Oh, you're in Boca. Boca is like one of the boroughs of New York City, isn't it? I mean, New Yorker. It's an interesting thing. Okay, so we've had the governor resign over scandal, a sex scandal. Now we've had the lieutenant governor resign over, I guess, what was he taking kickbacks abroad? What was the financial thing he was doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one state. That's more important to them than they keep talking about gun control, which New York has the strictest gun laws in the nation.
Well, one thing I've noticed about these politicians, Lieutenant, I don't even know the guy's name. Who's our lieutenant governor? We got Ron DeSantis. I can't even remember what her name is. Our lieutenant governor. It's not as big of a deal as if it was the governor, but it's certainly a big deal. And I got a theory on that. I was going to save this for later because it sounds crazy. Okay, this sounds really crazy. And I was going to have another cup of coffee before I shared it, but I'll share it with you, all right? Okay, without knowing any details of the lieutenant governor's crimes, other than I think it was bribery, he's not doing anything that all the other Democrats are doing. That a lot of these Democrats, like Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, they wonder, why is everyone picking on me? Everyone's doing it, right? I believe, now this is the crazy theory, I believe that the lieutenant governor was exposed, brought down, and has surrendered to authorities because of Governor Cuomo. I think this is part of Governor Cuomo's comeback plan. The governor that replaced him, the little Yoda-like figure that replaced, she got booed. Remember last week she came out at an event and they booed her. She's very unpopular. And Governor Cuomo's not ready to retire, and he's planning a comeback. In fact, I think he's planning to come back to make it to the White House eventually. And I think he's behind all of this. I think he got the lieutenant governor busted and exposed to try to show how corrupt things are. And if you think about it, all these sex things against him, they went nowhere. He's been totally cleared of all that. So I think Andrew Cuomo and Chris Cuomo probably are behind it. Fredo.
Well, if you watched one of the news conferences yesterday where the governor came on, she was giving a campaign speech, not talking about the victims, what people want to hear. Mm-hmm. They kept trying to deflate the numbers, saying it was only 10, 13. Turned out it was 26 people victimized.
Yep.
Incident. And they just, I understand New York and it's a tourist destination and they want to keep things.
Well, I don't think it's a tourist destination these days.
No, that's for sure. But they got to tell it the way it is, and the news conferences are all wishy-washy, and that's not what. That's why I kept watching them. I wanted to hear what was really going on, and they gave us the.
Well, New York has some of the most incompetent leadership. Mayor Adams is worse than de Blasio and even Dinkins. All he does, this guy is going to have some type of scandal, probably a sex scandal, maybe even a drug scandal, because all Mayor Adams does is go to the clubs at night. He doesn't work. He goes to the clubs at night, and he parties with celebrities and other people. And he's a party guy. That's all he does, and that leads to drinking and drugs and all kinds of things. And he just doesn't give a damn about anything that goes on. And the governor, she's another idiot spokesperson who is totally incompetent, beyond even a typical Democrat incompetence. These are just incompetent, arrogant, stupid people that are running both New York State and New York City right now.
Well, because of them, everybody's moving to Florida. You know, we have to blame them for something.
I'm not happy about that, because I see at the gas stations a lot of New York plates with younger people, not the retirees, and I can tell they're newly moved to Florida because they're like in work clothes, but they're not wearing Florida clothes. They're wearing northern clothes that are too heavy for the Florida weather, and I'm really concerned about because Democrats. Most of them probably are Democrats, and I don't think they're so quick to change their voter registration when they move down here.
But I was surprised that everybody kept saying Trump's going to get prosecuted in New York. He's going to get prosecuted in New York. And look who's going down to New York, the lieutenant governor.
That's right.
They had all this time, and they couldn't find it. They brought out that narrative every single week. There was, Trump's going down to New York as soon as he gets out of office. What's going on?
President Trump has been investigated nonstop since he came down the escalator. They don't even have him on jaywalking. Nothing.
But they're going to keep pushing for it, and people believe it. I have a mother who lives in New York. She believes that Trump's going to go to jail.
For what? They believe that making America great again is a crime. Liberals, they do.
Well, my mother, was a Biden supporter, is no longer a Biden supporter. She said she still hasn't crossed the line to support someone like Trump who's coming up.
Why? I mean, bad habits, I guess. They're, born a Democrat, lived a Democrat, gonna die a Democrat, I guess. Yeah.
Government, they made her, she had to be a Democrat, and she was led to believe everything. I mean, she's my mother, but I understand. But now she sees what the truth was.
What would you rather? Do you have kids?
They do.
Would you rather your kids? Let me ask. This is a serious question. Would you rather your kids grow up to be a Democrat or grow up and be gay and a Republican? No, I'm serious.
That's Republican.
You'd rather your kid? Would you rather your kids grow up and be a Democrat or gay, and be a gay Republican?
That has to be a Republican, because the Democrats thinking is they just con you all the way. They tell poor people they're going to help them, and guess what? After all these years, poor people still haven't been helped.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I tell people. You keep getting led to believe. They sell you on something and they don't...
Listen, everything the Democrats have done has been disastrous and a failure forever. Everything. There has not been a time that Democrats have done anything that has been anything but a disaster. You can go back to the beginning. Think about it. And I'll throw this out to you guys in the listening audience. Give me an example of a Democrat policy, something the Democrats have done that's not been a disaster, that's been good for the country.
They won't admit when they're wrong. Even our governor, if he makes a mistake, he says he has to backpedal. Nothing's perfect. But the Democrats, even when they're wrong, they won't admit they're wrong.
That's right.
Go on like that.
That's right. Well, listen, Boca, I appreciate the call. All right, take care. Take care. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this.
Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental is the official dentist of the Steve Kane Show.
Angry Pasta, $5 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank Angry Pasta. I live in New York. Nobody but the city folks like Como. And how do you say her name? Hocho? Hacho?
One of your loyal listeners. And I just want to thank you for turning me on to Dr. Gupta. I went over to him yesterday and I had a great experience, and makes you feel very comfortable over there, and has a beautiful place, and I thank you guys very much. Have a great one.
Dr. Gupta, the official dentist of The Steve Kane Show. Make Dr. Gupta the official dentist of your family. Give him a call. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. Online, BrightonDentalCare.com.
What would you rather your kids grow up and be, gay or a Democrat? Let me know in the chat. Would you rather your kids grow up and be gay and be a Republican, or be a straight Democrat?
At Friendly Tire. Wow. Half the price, and not only that, his tires, which nobody had, the tires I've been looking at, had any mileage guarantee. His is a 60,000-mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, but the price is good. So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires.
Campaign finance fraud. Bribery charges. Let me see here.
That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000-mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The prices that they give you are out the door and on the road. And everybody should go. I don't know how anybody could buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices. That's right. That's right. So, listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com.
I didn't ask about choices. I'm not debating born or choice. I'm just talking about parental approval of things.
Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group. Veterans and spouses of veterans, you may be entitled to benefits that you are not aware of, including long-term care benefits. Call attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group and find out what benefits are available to you. With offices in Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale, call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right. 36 minutes after the hour, it's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. Let's go back to the phones. Mike in Louisiana. Hey, would you rather your kids grow up and be a straight Democrat or grow up and be a gay Republican MAGA? What would you prefer?
Gay Republican MAGA.
Gay. You would rather your kids grow up to be gay MAGA than straight Democrat. Okay. Yeah. I'm starting to think that MAGA is not homophobic like they think on the left.
No, we're not, and that's the thing. You know, the whole thing about the current governor. First off, this is Letitia James is the leader of the 2nd District of New York, AG, I believe.
She's the Attorney General of New York, and she's a complete corrupt crook. There's no doubt about it.
She's a corrupt crook, and she's looking for a win because she went after Trump and she had got nothing. You know, she got nothing on him. So I think this is an easy mark for her. You know, in terms of getting a win.
Well, she had a complete failure with Trump. You know, Letitia James, who is the most corrupt law enforcement officials in the history of this country, she ran on the promise of suing Trump. She gets Trump's tax returns. She got them like a year ago. They found nothing. Nothing. And so that means Trump cleared. All I heard about were misdeeds with taxes for years about Trump. Letitia James got him, and she found nothing. Totally cleared Trump.
Totally cleared him. But here's the deal: their current governor is tied to both Cuomo and this guy. She appointed this guy. She appointed when she stepped up after Cuomo stepped down. She got put into the governor's office, and she appointed this current guy that just stepped down because of the scandal.
Yeah, you know, one thing about the lieutenant governor, his name is Brian. Oh, my goodness. Is there anybody that's, like, cool with, you know, everyone named Brian except me has something, right? You know, Brian Williams is a liar. Brian Benjamin, the lieutenant governor, is a crook. This is what he did, okay? This is from Fox. New York Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin was arrested yesterday and resigned after being indicted for bribery and other offenses as part of what federal prosecutors say was a scheme to get campaign contributions in exchange for a $50,000 state grant. Well, this is what the Democrats do in Congress. This is why they are all rich, right? They get money from donors and things like this, and then they pay them back with government grants and bills and things and earmarks, all these things. It's a money laundering operation, and the Lieutenant Governor of New York, Brian Benjamin here, just did what Pelosi and McConnell and all the rest do all the time.
Oh, sure, and that's the thing. This guy, and look, she's also tied to Cuomo. I have some friends that I talk to just about every night from up in New York, and they say what they're saying is Cuomo is not going to run as a Democrat. He's going to run as an independent.
I don't know who's saying that, but I'll tell you this: Cuomo. By the way, thanks, Mike, for the call. I believe Governor Cuomo is behind all this. He doesn't like her. She's talking about running, and what Governor Cuomo did, probably with his brother Fredo, is they got the lieutenant governor busted on something they're all doing to wound the governor and have scandals so that he can come in and save New York. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Louisiana.
Hey, Louisiana. Let me ask you, would you rather your children grow up and be Democrats or grow up and be gay Republicans?
I don't care what they go. As long as they grow up, be happy. They can be Democrat, Republican.
Okay, so non-answer, non-committal. Okay, go ahead, Louisiana. What's on your mind?
Hey, that's why I called you, because I knew you were going to answer me that question. That's why I called.
You called for what question?
The question you didn't answer me.
Oh, if you would rather your kids grow up and be straight and be Democrats or gay Republican MAGA, you didn't even have an answer. You were non-committal. How could you have called up for that question and not have?
As long as they grow up, be happy. I don't care if they gay, straight, Republican, Democrat.
Yeah, but this is we're doing a little role playing. It's like a party game here. We're just, okay.
No good. MAGA is no good.
So what do you think? I mean, a bird pooped on your president yesterday, who probably had some in his pants at the same time. What happened?
Like your president's the biggest crook there ever was.
Yeah.
Just like Jerry took their money.
Now that's yesterday's call. We're not going to rehash yesterday's call. I already exposed you on that. So what are your comments on the highest rate of inflation since Jimmy Carter was president?
What are my comments on that? When you go to the grocery store, people still buy groceries, go to gas.
Well, people have to eat. Yeah, people are still buying groceries because they have to eat, that we require food to sustain life.
But they're still buying stuff, so stop.
They're still buying stuff, so stop complaining. You have to have food to live.
People live, so what you complaining about? It is what it is.
Oh, it is what it is.
It is what it is. You still got to eat, you still got to go to work, you still got to put gas in.
Oh, so you don't care about inflation. You think it's fine. You're not worried about it.
It is what it is. What you want to do about it?
Well, elect Republicans to turn the country and the economy around.
It's going to be the same thing, bro.
Yeah, I know. Make it America great again. Lower prices, lower fuel prices. In this inflation, yes.
America, you still got to do what you got to do to eat. So stop. You always complaining about it.
So what if it goes up to 20% inflation? Would that be something to be worried about?
Talk about Biden every day. Talk about Trump, that biggest crook in his world.
Well, Biden currently is the president, and he's involved in things that are screwing with our lives. President Trump is not currently in power.
Trump, the way you talk, he is. The way he talk, he is.
No, he's not. He's not currently in power.
He's still your.
Well, I wish that he was. He'll be back. He'll be back in 2024. But Joe Biden is the one. Joe Biden is the one who is screwing up our lives right now. Even the birds agree. They pooped on him yesterday.
Okay. Really?
That happened. A bird had some droppings on his suit while he was talking.
So, a big deal.
It was funny.
What? It wasn't funny. So what's so funny about it?
It's never happened before.
So, but if a bird poop on Trump's head, it's going to be funny too?
Well, a bird has not dropped it on Trump's head while he's giving a speech. If a bird did that, you guys would be talking about it all day.
I wouldn't care, because that's the last thing I want.
You don't seem to care about much of anything. What do you care about?
I care about a lot of stuff, but it's stuff that you can't do nothing about. So all you can do...
Oh, so you're one of these powerless individuals. What is something tell me a problem in this country that you think we can't do anything about.
We can do a lot about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, you said there's things that we can't do things about that you were...
All we can do is work on it and do the best we can. And that's all you can do. Stop worrying about stuff.
What would you say is the biggest problem in America today?
Racism.
Racism? Really?
I'm in America today.
Really? Okay. People like me, give me an example of the last time that you experienced racism.
I have never experienced it.
Oh, never experienced it. I thought it was the biggest problem in the country.
It is.
Then why have you not experienced it?
I never outright experienced it because you're not crazy enough to do it to me.
Well, no, if it's the biggest problem in the country, you know, like my opinion is the biggest problem in the country today is runaway control inflation's writing F Joe Biden on the gas pumps. I see it on every gas pump I go to, or a sticker. That's something that people are complaining about. You're telling me that the biggest problem in the country is racism, yet at your advanced age, you've never experienced it. It must not be that much of a problem.
I never experienced. It's so converted. It's never outright.
It's not out. Oh, it's imagined. Okay, give me an example of the last time you've experienced racism that wasn't outright racism. Then, biggest problem is racism. You said.
Yeah, it's every day, bro. It happens.
Okay, well then tell me when it happened yesterday. If racism's happening every day, tell me when it happened yesterday.
When I see guys that look like you come in for jobs, and there's other people that's more qualified, and there's people, but there's guys like
you saw this happen yesterday. You saw this happen yet? You said
yesterday. I didn't see it happen yesterday.
Oh well, you said racism. You see it every day. So tell me what happened yesterday.
Every day, bro. I see it every day. It's not that it happened yesterday, but I see it.
All right, tell me about the day before yesterday then. Okay, yeah, well, the problem is you don't think before you put words in your mouth. All right, let's take another call. Good morning. Let's clean the radio airwaves off here for a minute. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Jessica from Delaware.
Oh, hey, Jessica. Hey, let me ask you. Would you rather your kids grow up and be straight Democrats, heterosexual Democrats, or grow up to be gay MAGA Republicans?
Honestly, I'm with him. I don't care.
You don't care? Non-committal.
Going on later in life. And actually, if you listen to Steve Bannon said there is no longer going to be a Democratic Party after all that.
Well, if that were only true, that'd be a good thing. But
I have to tell you something. I just heard you talk about the stickers on the gas thing.
Mm-hmm. I did this. The Biden stickers.
Today on Delaware Online, which is our local paper, the headline story is why you might be criminally charged if you put this sticker.
Yeah, there was a man arrested a couple days ago. It is illegal to deface property. And I don't know how it is in Delaware, but here in Florida, the gas pumps are regulated by the Department of Agriculture. So you're committing a crime by, I don't deface them. I do read the graffiti. F Joe Biden's on pretty much every gas pump I've gone to. Yeah, or the sticker, sometimes just like part of the sticker because the attendants peel it off. Yeah, I mean, people are ticked.
Right. I get that it's illegal and you shouldn't do that, but for them to have the picture of it and say him instead of you can't, just like...
Well, I don't endorse graffiti and vandalism, and people should not do that, but the way the media are handling it, it's like it's like the biggest crime. I think they're more upset about that crime than the New York incident yesterday.
Do you think Joe Biden reads our local paper?
No.
Well, it's the headline story today.
Now, Joe Biden, Joe Biden had something on. Let me play this clip. I was going to play this later. Let me play this to you since you're calling from Delaware. This is Joe Biden yesterday. Listen to this.
Outfit in a country that is immune. Imagine had the tobacco industry been immune to prostitute being sued.
Prostitutes, you hear that? He had prostitutes on the brain yesterday. Now, I don't know if he was talking about prostitutes for himself or for Hunter, but he said prostitutes yesterday because something involving prostitutes was on his mind. And he, because of his cognitive errors, he got a little confused there, but I don't know if he was fantasizing about prostitutes. He had a prostitute issue with Hunter again, who paid a prostitute with Joe's credit card. I don't know, but that was something.
He's probably worried the Hunter thing's about to come out about a prostitute, a new one. But that actually was also another headline story. His sister tried to smooth it over in our paper.
About the prostitutes? About the prostitutes?
No, just about Hunter's problems and how it's starting to do mainstream media. So they acted like they were doing a big story on the Hunter laptop. But when you click into it, it's Biden's sister. And she's kind of smoothing it over like he was a victim, he was on drugs.
Well, I have sympathy for people that are suffering from addiction. And Hunter is a victim. He's a victim of his father and his stepmother. I've had people in my family that have addiction issues, and I talk about this often. I can't even give up coffee, okay? And I've tried to give up coffee. I've tried to give up carbs. I can only imagine what it's like to be addicted to crack, And the one thing that I do know about people that are addicts, you don't give them 50 cents. You give them 50 cents, they'll buy drugs with it. And And what Joe Biden and Jill have been doing is giving him unlimited amounts of cash for decades when he's, such a heavy drug addict. He's a victim of his father and stepmother.
Kicked out of whatever military branch he was in for drugs. It seems like...
Navy.
I was reading an article about it. Actually, it was around the same time Zoe was about to have to leave his job because of the cancer. I actually listened to an old interview of Biden to just kind of refresh my memory about the time. And I almost wonder, because he said in the interview that he was going to sell his house because Zoe had to quit the job. I almost wonder if, because of the cancer, that was part of the reason that they needed to...
Here's what happened, okay? The plan, I'll give you the capsulized version because I got to take a break. Everyone on hold, stand by. Okay, Beau Biden was supposed to take over the family business from Joe, be the senator from Delaware, and keep the family corruption business going. And Beau's death screwed everything up for them, okay? And Hunter was going to continue to be the money mule for Beau, and they pissed away all their money. It gets spread around a lot. Joe, Jill, Hunter, the sister that's got an addiction issue, the Biden's sister, Biden's brother. They pissed away all the money. So Joe has come out of retirement to make some money, to set the family up. And he's doing corrupt business deals like no one can imagine right now because everyone in his family is a bum, and he's trying to set them up for the rest of their lives when he's no longer here to do corruption for them, And that's Beau Biden's death is why he's president today. It changed the whole family plan. Listen, I got to run, Delaware. Thanks for the call. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back after this.
A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Uh-oh, I'm coming down with something.
Steve Kane Show.
You might not be sick. You might have an
Hold on.
allergy.
Julian P., $5 super chat. Thank you, Julian. Everyone thank Julian. Do you think the Secret Service doesn't know where Hunter gets his drugs, being with him 24/7? Well, we found this out with the Bush girls when they were buying booze illegally. They don't, the Secret Service don't get involved as local cops when the first children are breaking the law.
Practice Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Oh, the fly-on pins. They made a big deal about the fly-on pins.
Important holidays of the year is coming up. Mother's Day. We all love our moms. They always take such good care of their families.
I guess it's hard, you know.
Moms in your life, whether it's
I'll tell you.
Your own mother, your grandma, or your daughter.
I'll tell you what's going on when we get back. I can't use all my stuff for the commercial breaks to you guys. I gotta wait till I get back on the air.
Your mom a gift she will love and one she will actually use year after year. When you visit mypillow.com, be sure to use promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for absolutely amazing deals. mypillow.com, perfect gifts for all the moms in your life. And remember, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for huge savings and great deals.
Brian Craig here. Come meet Steve Kane and me this Saturday from 11 a.m. till noon at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace. This is our first appearance in over 2 years, and all of you are invited. That's 11 a.m. till noon at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace. The Festival Marketplace is just east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road in Pompano. AJ's is located in front of the information booth next to the food court. Come meet Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, this Saturday, 11 a.m. till noon at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace. See you there.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
Yes. Our first appearance in 3 years, people. Steve Kane and myself, AJ's at the festival, Saturday from 11 to 12. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing today, sir?
Marty. Where are you calling from, Marty?
Fort Lauderdale.
Marty in Fort Lauderdale. What's up, Marty?
Hi, Stu, Mike. I got a question for you.
I feel a setup coming.
And take it the right way.
See, I told you.
Talking all the time about how the Republicans this, Republicans that, and I'm not Democratic, so I don't want you to think of that, but we keep bashing the Democrats on all their bad, and we keep saying the Republicans, but what have the Republicans done to really put them in check? What have they done to stop the corruption? What have they done to change the things that they've done that are screwy? You know, where have they had any accountability for them?
Well, Donald Trump was doing that. But you know, oh, really? Really? Tell me. What do you mean?
Look at some of the things. Let's look at what Obama put in the NDAA, which is completely illegal and unconstitutional, and also the Obamacare. You know, granted, Trump got a little bit done with that in that aspect.
Well, he didn't control the entire federal government. He was well on his way. You don't understand why we're always attacking Democrats and blaming them for everything. You know, the Democrats, everything the Democrats have done in this country is to undermine it since the party was formed. Okay? No good comes out of Democrats. This is a very generalized, simplistic thing I'm going to give you right here. Okay? Republicans believe that the government should be completely out of your life. Completely out of your life. Freedom. Right? And Democrats, what they believe in is complete 100% government oversight into your life.
Okay, that's the illusion that you're given, but tell me, what have the Republicans done to take the government out of our life?
Well, massive reduction in taxes. One of the things President Trump did to take the government out of our lives was he tore up tens of thousands of pages, if not millions of pages, of government regulations involving any type of construction that you were to do in this country, for example. You know, the biggest loss of freedom we have in this country is the government seizing our money from us in the form of taxes. And Trump reduced taxes. That's freedom.
Constitution, our original everything.
Our original Constitution? What do you mean? What do you mean our original Constitution? There's another Constitution that's not the original one?
Government here? Do you know?
No. You said the original Constitution. There's a second Constitution? What's the second Constitution?
okay, if you could listen for a moment, let me finish. There's the U.S. corporation, and then you have the United States of America, the nation. And yes, if we have a constitution that states in that we have the right to keep and bear arms, then why do we have to get a permit to carry an arm on us?
Well, I don't need a permit to own an arm. You're a libertarian. Oh, you're a libertarian. You're a libertarian. I get it. Yeah.
Say anything about buying it. I said carrying it. The Constitution says we have the right to keep and bear arms. Okay. Why do I have to, in Florida, have an arm on me? I have to have a...
Well, that's a Florida law because states, and unfortunately sometimes cities like New York, do have local regulations and local laws. It doesn't change the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't say that you have...
As a matter of fact, they completely drew out from Republican and or... it used to be Tea Party, if you want to say that in that aspect, because that was Republican.
Yeah. Who'd you vote for in the last election? Who'd you vote for in the last two elections?
Well, Trump's first election, I voted for Trump, but because I called you before and told you some of the things he didn't...
Okay, who'd you vote for the second time?
I didn't vote for either one because...
Oh, so you don't even participate in the system.
Quick to judge somebody without listening.
Well, if you didn't vote, if you're not voting, you're not participating.
Okay, can I explain?
In 5 seconds, I'm not really interested, but go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Historian, on the same aspect, who won the
very first in the original Constitution? All right, one of the things. Thank you for your call, and I don't really mean that, by the way. One of the original Constitution, the first one of the things Steve told me when I first started doing this, he says, the kiss of death, this is Steve Kane said this, and this is very true, even though the guy lied to me about it. The kiss of death to a radio show is having a conversation with a libertarian. That was a libertarian. Now, he may not be sharp enough to know he's a libertarian, but he's a libertarian. All right, it's 7 a.m., time for a break. We'll be right back. Second hour begins now.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a Medicare advocate at the touch of a button? You can for less than $1 a day with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will assist you with doctor appointment scheduling, pharmacy issues, billing problems, plan benefits, Medicare applications. They'll even help when you're in the hospital. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Let them be your golden guardians. Contact I Will Advocates right now online at iwilladvocates.com or call them directly, 954-345-1214. No matter where you're located throughout the state of Florida or nationwide, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Applefoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Can you explain that remark about
Brian Craig here, coming Steve Kane and me.
Boring, like that guy. That's boring. Why, are you libertarian? No. Because they're always talking about, well, if you look at the original Constitution, if you look at the Articles of Confederation, the Constitution doesn't say, it's just boring talk, intellectual boring talk that goes nowhere. They're boring. Why, is there a libertarian on the station I don't know about? They're bored.
I just thought a deeper definition of, or
Yeah.
explanation of,
Yeah.
of that remark,
Yeah. No, it's true. All libertarian conversations go like that guy. Good morning, everyone. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe.
So are they constitutionalists?
No, most of them are mental patients. They're just mental patients. You understand what I mean? They're just crazy people that, that just go around in circles, Alrighty. Hour number 2 has begun 3 minutes after the hour. I was reading this article during the break in Weasel Zippers. Weasel Zippers, by the way, is a very good conservative website. It's a very basic website, as basic as it gets, weaselzippers.us, and it's a very good conservative website. I've been going there every day for years. And they have a headline here, and this explains what's going on with Disney lately. Listen to this. This is the headline. Nearly all of Walt Disney's heirs claim that they have trans or pansexual children. Roy Disney's grandnephew, Roy P. Disney, the grandnephew of Walt Disney. Now Roy Disney was Walt's brother. Listen to this. Roy P. Disney, the grandnephew of Walt Disney, revealed that his child is transgender in a fundraising email for the Human Rights Campaign. My wife Sherry and I have been members of the Human Rights Campaign for over 20 years. Equity matters to us, especially because our child, Charlie, is transgender and a proud member of the LGBTQ plus community. And there's been other members of the Disney family coming out as these different things. This is the Charlie Disney is a high school biology teacher and environmental science teacher, and has come out. Roy, and it goes on and on and on. Yeah, I don't know, why are all of these Disney heirs gay and trans? I don't know. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Andrew, California.
Hey, Andrew, what's up?
Talking about the problem with America.
Okay.
Am I alive right now?
Are you alive? Well, I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose you, but you're talking.
Is this a screener or am I alive?
No, we don't screen calls here. I screen calls live on the air. You are on the radio. Not much.
Two is money. Capitalization.
Capitalism is the biggest problem? Capitalism is the biggest problem? Money?
Correct.
Do you? I know the answer to this. I'm not going to tell you what my answer is, but I'm going to ask you first, because I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to see what your answer is first, okay? Which will be wrong. My question to you is, you said that the biggest I'm doing fine. You said the biggest problem, excuse me, listen, we're having a conversation. You said the biggest problem we have in this country is money. Why is money, in your opinion, the biggest problem we have in this country?
Because money fuels everything.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have money, you do drastic, impulsive things.
Oh, you're a crook.
Problem.
Oh, so you're a criminal? You've done crime?
No.
I don't need enough of your intellectual stoner gobbledygook. The reason that you believe that money is the biggest problem in this country is because you don't have any.
Listening.
No, I'm listening to you very carefully. I'm hanging on your every word. Money is the biggest problem in your opinion because you don't have any. That's why.
I have plenty. I'm in California, you idiot.
What does that mean? There's not poor people? You know, my daughter just came back from Los Angeles yesterday, and she told me that she was visiting some friends in Los Angeles. I picked her up at the airport last night, and she, excuse me, I'm talking, and my daughter told me something that just blew my mind. Oh, okay. Now I got to hang up on the guy because that was a cry out for help. He didn't know, he uses words you're not allowed to use on the radio, so I have to disconnect the call. I have to put him out of his misery. Sorry. But listen to this. So my daughter came back from Los Angeles. I picked her up at the airport last night, and she told me a couple things that were concerning to me. One, she told me she went to Santa Monica because she wanted to see the pier, where Sharknado attacked. And I had just seen that story about the mailmen getting attacked in Santa Monica. And you've seen this story. They've suspended mail delivery in Santa Monica because mail carriers have been attacked. And that was concerning to me. And I don't know how true this is, but I know in the old Westerns, I used to watch Westerns all the time. Everybody did, right? If you go back and watch the old Western movies and TV shows from the 40s and 50s, even maybe the 60s, and there was a stagecoach robbery, the stagecoach robbers, and even the train robbers, they'd rob the stagecoach, they'd take everyone's money, they would take the jewelry, they'd rape the women, but there's one thing stagecoach robbers wouldn't steal. Do you know what that is? What would stagecoach robbers and train robbers not steal when they were robbing stagecoaches and trains? There was one thing they wouldn't steal. They'd take the money, they would kill people, they would rape the women. They would not steal the mail. Because if they steal the money and rape the women and kill the people on the train, they'll get the local marshal after them, the local sheriff. But if they steal the mail, they'd get the U.S. Army after them, the federal government. And they didn't want the feds coming after them, so they would never steal the mail. That is true. And mail could have valuable things in it back then. That is true. You've seen this in a lot of Western movies, but that is true. So this attack on mail carriers is unheard of. So my daughter was in Santa Monica, and then I was concerned. She went to downtown L.A. She was telling me this in the car. And I said to her, what were you doing going to downtown L.A.? It's filled with very dangerous homeless people. And this is what she told me that blew my mind, okay? She said, because she didn't know her way around, although she was with friends that live out there, they knew the way around, but she was looking on iMaps, on her iPhone. iMaps marks, it actually says Skid Row on iMaps for downtown Los Angeles. It shows you where Skid Row is, and iMaps actually says on it Skid Row and shows you Skid Row. That's how bad it is in California, people. That's how bad it is. Can you imagine? I use iMaps all the time to get everywhere. And I've never seen it mark out crime neighborhoods to avoid. And I drive all over Ron DeSantis' Free Florida with iMaps. I've never seen it. But Skid Row is marked on iMaps. Oh, boy. It's a strange world. It's a strange world. Well, it's too bad we couldn't talk to that caller from California because I had some interesting things to bring up to him. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I'm still waiting for the delay to build back up. 1-888-465-2631. Okay, this shooter in New York City, this is a mass shooting event. The numbers are growing, and of people that were shot and wounded, everything else. This is the second mass shooter that I know of, actually more, that was on the FBI list, right? This guy was on the FBI terror watch list. And he was running around free. He was on the FBI terror watch list and was still able to get guns and a bomb. Nicholas Cruz, they got a call at the FBI about him before the Parkland shooting. They did nothing. And I'll tell you another thing. James Woods. You guys know James Woods? Not long after 9/11, I don't remember how long it was, but it was not long after 9/11, Bill O'Reilly had James Woods on his show as a guest on the O'Reilly Factor on Fox News. Some of you may have seen this. This was amazing. This was not long after 9/11, but I don't remember if it was like a month or a year after 9/11. It's been a long time. It's been over 20 years. James Woods was on a flight to Los Angeles, and he saw the 9/11 hijackers, including Muhammad Atta, on his flight. And they made him nervous because to James, this was before 9/11, remember, because Muhammad Atta died on 9/11. But he saw, James Woods saw Muhammad Atta. He didn't know it was Muhammad Atta at the time. He later did. But he saw Muhammad Atta and other 9/11 hijackers on his flight to Los Angeles. And he was very concerned about it because he thought that it looked as if they were rehearsing a hijacking. So when he landed, He called the FBI. The FBI came to James Wood's home and interviewed him, and he explained to them everything he saw on the plane, and they didn't pick him up. They didn't pick him up. They could have stopped 9/11. They could have had Muhammad Atta. They knew who was on that plane. Isn't that crazy? If you ever have a chance to talk to James Woods, ask him about that. I saw him talk about it that one time on Bill O'Reilly 20 years ago. I've never forgotten it. Bill O'Reilly was even like in shock when he went through the details of the story. It was an amazing, it was one of the most interesting Bill O'Reilly shows, because I remember it 20 years later. Maybe more than 20 years, actually, depending on when he was on. The FBI screws all this crap up. And look at what we had with the FBI. We've had two major FBI screw-ups this week. This guy in New York was on the FBI terror watch list. So I guess we can't identify this as terrorism since the guy was on the FBI terror watch list. So this is terrorism. Can we say that? Can we declare it terrorism since he was on the terror watch list of the FBI? They let this guy go. And then look what happened with the verdicts that came in the Governor Whitmer case. The FBI entrapped these guys. That's why they were acquitted. So this has just been a disastrous time for the FBI. I mean, maybe the FBI should be disbanded. Oh, boy. All right, let's take a call or two, and then I'll break. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, Andrew, I'm gonna have to ban you from calling. It's one call per day. You use profanity the first time. It's the morning. Oh my goodness. You know, in California, he said, have a good night. They're 3 hours behind us. It's 4:15 in the morning. I was up working at 4:15 in the morning. In fact, I was recording a commercial. I recorded 2 commercials at 4 a.m. this morning, both of which you've already heard on the show. A new commercial for Dr. Gupta, and a new commercial about Mike Lindell, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, because I was inspired to make this commercial with Mike Lindell. This guy at 4:15 in the morning is telling me good night. Good night. It's time to go to bed. The sun's coming up soon. He's got to go to bed. That's a liberal for you. That's a California liberal. All right, listen, let's take our break. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Yeah, this was he's going to bed at the time that I was recording this commercial that I'm going to play right now.
Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental is the official dentist of the Steve Kane Show. For good reason. He does great work at affordable prices. Listen to a Steve Kane listener share their experience with Dr. Gupta.
Hi, this is Tim, one of your loyal listeners, and I just want to thank you for turning me on to Dr. Gupta. I went over to him yesterday, and I had a great experience, and makes you feel very comfortable.
What does he do for a living, D?
It's a beautiful place.
Lives with mommy and daddy in the room that he grew up in.
Dr. Gupta, the official
He's a gamer.
dentist of the Steve Kane Show. Make Dr. Gupta the official dentist of your family. Give him a call. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. Online, BrightonDentalCare.com. Brian Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
I had 2 ball ties in the back of my Infinity. I called them up, and I always check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price?
And
half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
Half the price, and not only that, his tires, which nobody had, the tires I was looking at, had any mileage guarantee. His is 60,000 mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, but they're twice as good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000 mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody could buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek
Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the Biostation West Delray. At Biostation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Hold on, I am sending an email. Okay, we are back. All right, now, I wanted, though, to play this clip of the subway. Well, if he's on the FBI terror watch list, we got to call him a terrorist. So, yeah. So I got two clips of him. Let's play it. Here's clip one. This is the subway shooter in New York.
When I went there, I was a nice person. I wanted to help people and do. When I left out there, I wanted to kill everything in sight. I was planning to kill everything I saw, based on how I was treated by these and a dirty and especially a stinking about to be dead black, about to be dead. About to be exterminated, about to be taken to the slaughter, like the farm animal you are. I'm talking about in my next video. That's all you are. A farm animal.
Wow. I mean, the NYPD released a photo of Frank James, that's him, age 62, who rented an abandoned U-Haul that's linked to the shooting scene and who has made concerning threats against Mayor Adams and comments against the city's homeless crisis. Commuters on the N train Tuesday described how a man wearing a construction vest threw a smoke grenade into their subway car when it was between stations and then opened fire. Terrified passengers tried to get out into the next carriage, but the door was locked. When the train pulled into the 36th Street station in Sunset Park, the gunman fled. He rented a U-Haul cargo van in Philly, drove it to Brooklyn, where it was recovered Tuesday night. He's the only person named in connection to the attack so far. NYPD's chief says we're looking to determine if he has any connection to the train. We know Mr. James rented the U-Haul in Philadelphia. The key of the U-Haul was found at the crime scene of the subway. The U-Haul was found 5 miles away. The NYPD commissioner said they recovered a 9mm semi-automatic handgun, extended magazines, a hatchet, gasoline, consumer-grade fireworks, and a hobby fuse. We still don't know his motivation. Well, I think we know a little bit. If he was on the FBI terror watch list, they had him on that list for a reason. They must have some idea of motivations. The commissioner said James made concerning social media posts about homelessness in New York City and threats to Mayor Adams. Adams' security was stepped up as a result. The person of interest in today's subway shooting in Brooklyn has made past comments about the mayor. Out of an abundance of caution, Mayor Adams' security has been increased. Let me skip down here a little bit. I mean, I don't want to look at the pictures. They have the pictures in the papers. I'm not interested in them. He has addresses in Philadelphia and Wisconsin. They're still investigating whether he has ties to New York. 16 people were taken to hospitals, 10 were shot, 4 suffered smoke inhalation, and another 2 were in shock. I don't know if that number is current or if it has increased since this story was written. Police are offering a $50,000 reward leading to information to James' arrest. That's it? That's it? Here's another $50,000? Here's another clip of him.
And the main thing about the story of black people in this country is that there's nothing over here. No nigga not free. You're not at home. No, this is not over. The Emancipation Proclamation didn't stop shit. The Civil Rights Movement didn't stop a thing. This train is still moving. And it's moving in a direction that's going to take you to your death.
Wow. You know, one thing about mass shooters, do you know where they commit their shootings? Most every instance, with rare exceptions. Where do shooters go to commit mass shootings? Do you know where they go? What do you think about this now? They go to gun-free areas, gun-free zones. That's right. That's right. And I'll give you a couple examples. The Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando a few years ago. You guys remember this one? Oh, man. Brutal. And it was a shooting on the gay nightclub, Pulse nightclub, a gay nightclub. And that shooting, that tragic shooting in Orlando has been called an example of anti-gay hate. That is not the case. That was a terrorist attack. It was a terrorist attack. That was not his first target. All this talk about Disney. His first target was Disney World. And the Pulse nightclub shooter. And he actually drove to Disney World. Disney Springs in particular, which is a shopping restaurant district at Walt Disney World in Orlando. And he got there and changed his mind and then went to the Pulse nightclub. Do you know why? The reason that he didn't shoot up Disney World is because there were armed security officers and armed police officers there, people that could shoot back. So we went to the nightclub, which is a gun-free zone, because there's alcohol there, and he was confident no one would be there to shoot back. There you got it. Boom. What's the name? Was it the monster that shot up the church? Was it Dylan Roof that shot up the church? I think so. There's so many of these creeps, it's hard to keep their names straight, but should we even really? Okay, now, there are rare exceptions to this, okay? But for the most part, mass shooters go where there are not people that can defend themselves and shoot back. Dylan Roof, tragic event, shooting up that church. That was not his first target. Down the street from the church was a college. He first went to the college. He was going to shoot up the college. What was there? Armed campus police. So we went to the church, which was a gun-free zone. That's what they do. Because for the most part, they don't want people to be able to shoot back. And an incident like this in New York, you can be pretty confident, unless there's a transit cop nearby on the subway, there's no one that can shoot back. And by the time a transit cop comes, you've committed all kinds of mayhem. And now I don't believe everyone should have guns. I think the only people that should have guns are people that understand how to properly use them and handle them. I mean, I've been in situations at gun ranges and things where I've been there and people were not handling guns properly, and I've reported them to the... I was at a... Steve and I were taking a gun course at a shooting range here in South Florida with two of Steve's daughters. Me and Steve and two of his daughters. We were taking a gun course, and there were some listeners there. This was a few years back. And there were two guys we didn't know that were in the group. And this guy, I mean, he had like a 44 or a 357. I mean, he had a big old handgun. And this guy didn't know anything about guns. He didn't know what he was doing. And he was standing, we were at the gun range firing, and this guy was behind us with his gun in his hand, and it was loaded. And he had it down to his side. And I saw his finger while it wasn't on the trigger, it was near the trigger. You don't do that. You don't walk behind people at gun ranges with loaded guns. You keep it in your lane. And I went and talked to the range master, and they took care of the guy and tossed him out. So there are people that don't know how to handle guns, and that, I don't think everyone should have a gun. Okay? And I also don't believe teachers should be armed in the classroom when these things come up. But when you look at most every single mass shooting event, there's no one there who can shoot back. That's what they do, because All these guys are cowards. Cowards. Now, I got another question about this guy. You know, I keep hearing that he had concerning social media posts. And the press have screenshots and things. That's how I got that audio of him, from his social media post. Which means, now, I'm sure now it's the case, but prior to this, he wasn't banned from the platforms. This guy was putting incredibly violent things on social media. Why was he not banned? This week, Juanita Broaddrick was banned. She was raped by President Clinton twice, she says. I believe her. I know Juanita Broaddrick. She's a very nice lady. Okay? Why is Juanita Broaddrick? Why is Donald Trump banned from social media? But this guy was not. At least not. He probably is now because he did this. But he was putting these outrageous, violent, threatening posts and things on social media. And he was allowed to go. See, that, you know, I was talking earlier in the week about this. I was shocked to learn, and I found this out in the course of, you know, Juanita Broaddrick is banned from social media, from Twitter, right? But John Hinckley, remember I was talking about this earlier in the week? John Hinckley, who shot President Reagan and 3 others, he's on Twitter. John Hinckley is not banned from Twitter. But Juanita Broaddrick is. Mike Lindell is. Yeah, President Trump is. Laura Loomer is, and others. But this guy was allowed to post these crazy things on social media, and it was allowed. See, it goes to show you the censoring on social media is 100% political. 100% political. You know, last night Tucker Carlson was talking about Elon Musk and Twitter. That Elon Musk, it's an amazing thing, you know. Elon Musk is about to save freedom of speech in this country. Liberty in America is about to be saved by the richest African American, Elon Musk. Very well may be. The reason he turned down the board of directors post is because there's a limit on the amount of stock members of the board of directors are allowed to own. So he didn't take the board of directors seat so we can buy up more of the stock. But this lunatic murderer on the terror watch list that shot up New York yesterday, he was allowed to continue to be active on social media when President Trump and Juanita Broaddrick, Mike Lindell, and all these other good people are banned. There's a problem here. You know, when we talked about this, when President Trump was banned from social media and it cooled off a little bit, I said, eventually someone's going to come along and fix this. The capitalist system will correct this. There will be someone, I don't know who, wealthy people will come forward and they will correct this wrong. And now we're seeing it, right? Mike Lindell has Frank Speech, Trump has True Social, there's Getter, and now Elon Musk, who's pretty fed up, you know, excuse me, is coming after Twitter. And I think what was the beginning of the end for Twitter and inspired Elon Musk was the Babylon Bee. The Babylon Bee is hilarious. They're what Saturday Night Live used to be. Funny. And it's political commentary. And they got a Twitter ban for fake news. They're not news. They're comedians. They're like Second City. They're like Mad Magazine. Saturday Night Live in the old days. And they got banned. And the reason I think that is because before Elon Musk made his big stock purchase of Twitter, I read a few days ago that before he did it, he had a conversation with the Babylon Bee. So, you know, there was a caller earlier that said money and capitalism, that lunatic, is the biggest problem. Capitalism corrects wrongs all the time, and we're starting to see it now when it comes to our free speech with these social media platforms, with the new platforms available in this business with Elon Musk. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Those of you on hold, stand by. Our number, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. My name's Brian Craig. We'll take a break and be right back.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test.
Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Hold on, yeah. See, I'm going to have to start screening, which I'm not crazy about doing. I don't like screening.
Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
Brian Craig here. Come meet Steve Kane and me this Saturday from 11 a.m. till noon at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace. This is our first appearance in over 2 years, and all of you are invited. That's 11 a.m. till noon at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace. The Festival Marketplace is just east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road in Pompano. AJ's is located in front of the information booth next to the food court. Come meet Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, this Saturday, 11 a.m. till noon at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace. See you there.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Veterans and spouses of veterans, you may be entitled to benefits that you are not aware of, including long-term care benefits. Call attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group and find out benefits are available to you. With offices in Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale, call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782. Listen to
All right, 36 minutes after the hour. Welcome back, everyone. Before I get back to the issues, my wife and I had something happen yesterday I wanted to share with you guys, unrelated to some of this politics. I talked about this on my podcast last night, but this was really insane, okay? This was really insane. And how many of you have an Alexa at home? Some of you have the Google Home. How many of you have an Alexa? We have an Alexa in every room of the house. My wife even has an Alexa in the bathroom. You know, we have them on the back porch. And they're so cheap now. They're like, you can get them, you know, like $25. They're very cheap. So the other day, our television in our bedroom was giving us problems, right? It was giving us problems. This was over the weekend, and my wife and I were talking, well, maybe we should get a new TV. I don't know. We don't really want to buy a new TV. Like with everything else, it's very expensive these days to buy a decent TV. And we just had a brief conversation, and then the TV, the problem we were having kind of fixed itself. I unplugged it for a minute and plugged it back in and did a reset, and it fixed itself. That's the number one fix to electronics, guys. Unplug it for a minute and plug it back in. That was over the weekend. And then yesterday, my wife was got freaked out. And when I got off the air yesterday, she called me. She said she had asked Alexa what the temperature was. Alexis told her the weather and then said, by the way, I can help you find a new TV. And Alexa was listening to us, and then used this private conversation we had in our bedroom, the privacy of our bedroom, to try to sell us a TV. And my wife asked Alexa some questions. Alexa records you. There's a blue light on Alexa, and said when the blue light is on, when they hear keywords, records you for 30 seconds and stores it in the cloud. Okay? And I know a lot of people will think that, by the way, you can listen to the program on Alexa. I'll do it right now. Alexa, play WWNN radio. Boom, there. I turned everyone's device onto this station. I'll do it again. Alexa, volume 9. There you go. Now I've turned everyone's device up really loud. But no, it said this, yeah. So it said, I can also help you buy a TV. And these devices that we have in all of our, most of you out there have an Alexa device or the Google Home. Google does the same thing, by the way. And we had a conversation with Alexa who explained they do this whole thing. They record you, it says 30 seconds, stores it in the cloud, and then they start trying to, what else are they listening to? And this is very scary because, back in the days when Christians were debating gay activists, right, over gay rights, I heard so many gay activists say this because it was a talking point. They say, stay out of my bedroom. What I do in the privacy of my own bedroom is my business, Okay. Now we all have, in our home, most people have an Alexa or a similar device like the Google Home. I like the Alexa because it's dirt cheap. You get them for like $20, right? It's listening to you all the time. And what's happening to that information? A lot of people think I'm crazy about this. I don't talk about it a lot because I'm not an Alex Jones conspiracy person. Okay? But I believe that the government invented the internet and all these devices to control and monitor us. And these Alexa devices are textbook examples of it. And that to me is very frightening. Now I wouldn't, if I was single, I would take those Alexas and throw them in the garbage. But my wife likes them. It's convenient. What time is it? What's the weather? Play a song, it'll play the song. But there's every single one of us, we talk about privacy. There is no longer privacy. You are monitored everywhere you go, okay? And you're being listened to, and like I say, we even have Alexa devices in the bathroom. So even in the privacy of your bathroom, you have this device listening to you and doing who knows what with the information. But it's pretty frightening. That's very scary. I've heard people talk about things like that before with the Alexa, but we didn't do any searching online or anything for a new television. We just had a brief conversation while we were having trouble with our TV, and the Alexa was listening and is now trying to sell us a TV in our bedroom. Very scary. And it was a very brief conversation. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Rick.
Oh, hey, Richie. Richie the bus driver. What's up?
How are you? Even you just talking about this. Even your computer and some TVs that have that camera on the top of them that you can go on Skype and all that. You don't know if they're watching you. You let alone listening to you.
Yeah.
See, your house.
No, you have no privacy. But the thing about the Alexa, this was out of the blue, and then it told us that it records you and stores it in the cloud. And they said to protect your privacy, we only record for 30 seconds and store it in the cloud. To protect your privacy, you're recording private conversations and storing them.
And there's a blogger that he's called the Barefoot Blogger, and he just put an e-bike. They're pretty cool. So I just was curious, and with the now everything on my YouTube is e-bikes. It's like incredible. I did it one time. Here's the thing I wanted to say about this shooter in New York City. New York's got very strict gun rules. I was a young kid, which is many moons ago. Okay, if you looked it up, you could see back in the 50s and the early 60s, the New York subway system was clean. It was the people that wanted. You didn't have any fear. They didn't have transit cops back then. The people back then, the token was only 15 cents, but nobody was jumping. You didn't have homeless all over New York. You didn't have any of this. And then even when I drove a bus in Broward County, okay, when I started, it was all elderly people that took the bus and some kids that went to school. Like when you went to school, the buses were pretty damn safe. But all of a sudden, people started losing jobs, and this is what I'm coming up to. When the economy goes bad and people start losing jobs, it gets worse and worse. The cities get worse. Everything gets worse. This country's in for a rude awakening with this economy. When people start losing jobs and they can't afford food, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, this subway thing had nothing to do with food, and these attacks on the mailmen in Santa Monica had nothing to do with lack of food. I mean, there's just I think there's a bigger problem, and that is people that are criminal in their mindset have lost fear of the police, and of especially in New York. I mean, when that guy at Christmas burned down the Fox News Christmas tree, he was out and watched them light up the new one on that television presentation. He was across the street watching. And that's why things are going the way they're going in New York City and in California and elsewhere. People have lost fear of the police, and George Soros 10 or 15 years ago started politically backing left-wing people to be state's attorneys, to be completely pro-crime, and that's the problem here. It's not the economy.
No, but it's going to get worse with the economy, and it's not decent people that are going to do this.
Yep. Yeah.
Thing gone wrong here, totally.
Well, and there's another thing with this guy, okay, who I think he was on the FBI terror watch list, so I think we can call him a terrorist, the guy in New York. If you listen to what he says, let me play the one clip. This is one of the clips of him. This is the New York shooter, and one of his rants he put online.
The main thing about the story of black people in this country is that there's nothing over here. No nigga not free. You're not at home. No, this is not over. The Emancipation Proclamation didn't stop The Civil Rights Movement didn't stop a thing. This train is still moving. And it's moving in a direction that's going to take you to your death.
Okay. So I cut out all the N-words and F-words there. I didn't have time to put in the bleeps. I was running late. But this critical race theory, this new wave with Black Lives Matter, where all white people are born racist, they're all racist, and all of this, this guy is obviously a mental patient, and I don't say that sarcastically. He's definitely mentally ill. But he's also not so mentally ill that he didn't try to escape. So he knew what he was doing, but he didn't believe what he was doing was wrong, because he is fighting. This is the second major racial crime that's happened since the Rittenhouse verdict. Remember the guy that ran down the white people at the parade after the Rittenhouse verdict? That black guy ran down a bunch of white people. This guy, I don't know what all the victims were, but he obviously was targeting white people. They're told by Joy Reid at MSNBC and others, and Obama and Kamala and Biden and Ketanji and all the rest, that their grievances are justified. Their anger towards this country and Caucasians is justified, and that's why this stuff is happening.
Well, the guy, you just brought up Joy Reid. I'm sure you've seen what she said about Elon Musk, that he's a white supremacist. And they're being taken over by.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. I mean, Tiffany Cross over at MSNBC, tell people like this that their anger is justified and that there is nothing. nothing wrong with what they're doing. Richie, I got to run for a break. Thanks for the call. Those of you who want to hold standby, back after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness?
Steve Kane Show.
Burning or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle
Steve Kane
weakness,
Show.
Loss of balance, muscle twitching.
Hold on.
Are you not sleeping?
Steve Kane Show.
Pins and needles in your hands and feet. Maybe you have
Hey, hold on.
feeling at all. The symptoms can make life
Now, I'm screening calls, which I don't like to do because the California bums.
754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. You can call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental is the official dentist of the Steve Kane Show. For good reason. He does great work at affordable prices. Listen to a Steve Kane listener share their experience with Dr. Gupta.
Hi, this is Tim, one of your loyal listeners, and I just want to thank you for turning me on to Dr. Gupta. I went over to him yesterday, and I had a great experience, and makes you feel very comfortable over there, and has a beautiful place, and I thank you guys very much. Have a great one.
Dr. Gupta, the official dentist of the Steve Kane Show. Make Dr. Gupta the official dentist of your family. Give him a call. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. Online, BrightonDentalCare.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, we're back. 10 before 8, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve will be joining us in the next hour. Back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Once. Twice. All right. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are we?
Oh, hey, Wisconsin. Gary, doing well. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm backing into a dock right now, getting unloaded, and hopefully soon here I don't even have to get out of the truck or open up the doors. Doors open up the inside, so I'm kind of happy joyous about places like this.
Yeah.
So you were talking about Alexa and things, you know, I get that a lot of people want to get these for their home, but, you know, like you just mentioned it all of a sudden out of the blue, that all of a sudden it asked you about a new TV. You know, there was something, I don't know if you reported it or it was on another, I heard it on YouTube or whatever, but somebody actually were having an argument and the police got called because of that argument.
Yeah, I've heard that story, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like, could you imagine if all of a sudden, you know, like you and your wife or somebody else are having an intimate moment and all of a sudden, you know, I'm not going to do the rest of it, but I mean, for that and all of a sudden the cops get called for that, it's just so sad that all of a sudden how these devices make our lives so much easier, but they also can lead to get you into trouble. And for the government just to be able to be more in your business.
There is no doubt in my mind that the government cannot, on a whim, decide to listen into anyone's home without any warrants or anything through the Alexas. There's no doubt about it, and almost everyone I know has one.
We don't have nothing of that in our house.
Well, you know, what happened. You know, the thing about the Alexa, like I said. All you have to do, you go, Alexa, play WWNN radio, and boom, I just turn everyone's device onto this radio program, and you can, Alexa, what's the temperature? Alexa, what time is it? You can, it's crazy, and you get used to these things, and we get spoiled, and we are willing to give up privacy. And I know a lot of people will say, well, what are you worried about if you're not saying anything wrong? That's not the point.
More or less, in my opinion. I mean, back when I was a lot younger, I mean, we would, wanted to know what the temperature was outside. And we didn't have a device to look at. We would just call the time and temp, and they would give you the time and temperature it was during right there.
Or we used to have we'd have a thermometer on the back porch, on the wall, and we'd go look at it. Yeah.
Thermometer out in the back wall or in the backyard just to see what was going on. But
well, see, these things are scary. These things are scary, and I'll tell you, I told this story before, not for a long time. Scott Ritter, who was a UN weapons inspector in Iraq for the United States and the UN many years before the war in Iraq, when the weapons of mass destruction story during the buildup for the Iraq war in 2003 was beginning, Scott Ritter was on television every day saying there were no WMDs in Iraq. And he had credibility because he had been there and inspected the facilities and was a UN weapons inspector. And he was on television in the lead up to this war when George W. Bush was president for months, every day on all the shows, mostly the liberal shows, MSNBC and stuff. And then all of a sudden I woke up one morning doing my show prep. What happened? Oh, Scott Ritter, they found like child pornography on his computer. All of a sudden, out of the blue, the leading credible voice against the war. And these devices, they can not only listen to you, they can put things there too.
Probably, yeah. With like Bluetooth and
yes,
their capabilities that they can do. I mean, you can listen.
It's insane.
Hulu, Netflix. Yeah, it is getting to be a point that there's overreach and there's really no privacy on any phone. I mean, if somebody hacks into your phone, they can turn the camera on, see what you're doing, right through there. People have been hacked one way or the other.
That's right.
People have been, what is that, with like the meat companies and all that other stuff being hacked for that, things of that nature. It's just getting to be more more intrusive.
Yeah, it's you got to be very careful. I'm normally police what I say because I spend so much time podcasting on the radio and stuff for so many years, and you just can't say anything you want on the public airwaves and things like this. This is just a given, So I'm always careful with language I use, but these devices are very dangerous things, and that incident that we had happen in the privacy of our own bedroom is scary. And then when Alexa said that they're protecting our privacy by only recording when the blue light is on, which I didn't even know there was one, and only for 30 seconds, and then it's stored in the cloud. Oh my goodness. Really? How does that protect our privacy? Yeah.
And it's to keep doing it more and more and more. And now eventually, if they ever get sued, because of that, it's hard to say if there would be ever a class action lawsuit on that. But
yeah, well, yeah, that's what it is. I know a lot of people say it's no big deal. It's no big deal. Who cares? So Alexa's listening to you talking about getting a new TV. Well, what else are they listening to? Exactly. All right, Wisconsin Gary. All right, you two take care. All right, our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. I know it's time to check in with Janet Cimarelli from AJ's Natural Wellness Shop. Let's see, is this you, Janet Cimarelli?
Yes, way to go. You picked the right.
That's right. Now we're going to see each other. We're going to see each other on Saturday. Steve Kane and I are making our first personal appearance in 3 years at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop. Saturday from 11 a.m. till noon. Okay, not a minute earlier and not a minute later. And at the Festival Marketplace, and you are all invited. So, and I know when we're at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the festival, Saturday from 11 to 12, that there are incredible specials, incredible deals. You're practically giving everything away at very low prices.
We are practically giving everything away. There is 50, half off our already reduced prices. So amazing buys, and you get to talk to Brian and to Steve. Happy day.
How exciting.
So one of the things that I was seeing in the news report is here in Palm Beach County, there's a bit of a rise in the number of COVID. the air in your office free of infectious microorganisms. So there's something from Now manufacturer called Clear the Air. There's a seasonal formula. There's so many different things to make sure that the air is clear of anything that could possibly make you sick, anything that might have a virus, a bacteria. So things that have echinacea, quercetin, different things like that, keeping the air clean. Things that you need to do to support your immune system, all at half off. We have so many incredible buys. People, they are just, their jaws are dropping open when they see what...
Yeah, so Steve... Oh my goodness, CBD is half off at AJ. Okay, so now listen, Steve and I have, this is true, we have not done a personal appearance in 3 years. When I recorded the commercial, I thought it was 2, and then I realized I can't remember, other than our cruise, our last cruise, we have not done a personal appearance in 3 years, and we have none other planned in the future, except for our cruise in January, of course. So this is a rare opportunity to come meet Steve Kane and me together. We'll be with Janet Cimarelli and Anita at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace. Everything at AJ's will be 50% off on Saturday. So be there from 11 a.m. till noon. And, of course, the festival is just east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample. And AJ's is easy to find. Once inside, head back towards the food court, look west. AJ's is right in front of the information booth. 50% off on Saturday. We'll see you all there. All right, Janet, take care. I'll see you Saturday. No doubt about it. All right, we're going to take a quick break and then be back with Steve Kane. Don't go anywhere.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754
is the official dentist of the Steve Kane Show.
For a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now.
All right, it's 8:01. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this year, the Steve Kane Show. And Steve joining us. Hey, Steve.
Amazing and astounding after all these years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I've trademarked and copyrighted Steve's name. So we might hit the 100-year mark of the Steve Kane Show at some point. But no, but oh man, so. That's true. That's true. You know, and I was talking earlier. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what the definitions are. Okay, this incident in New York yesterday. This guy on the train. He was on the.
About that?
I don't know what you're thinking. No, well, no.
Actually, no, I'll tell you what I'm thinking, because I don't really know. I'm dependent upon the coverage that's available in the newspaper, like the New York Post, and of course the television that I watch.
But I can't. I see patterns, and I think I'm getting paranoid. Is I think what it.
Well, I can believe that. What patterns are you seeing?
Well, there are a couple of things here. Now, you'll be able to help me because see, we're a good team because we together combine to have access to all the resources. I don't do internet, as you know, but you're the pro on internet. But I can't tell whether it's the coverage or what. But did nothing strike you strange about these shootings?
The one in New York? No, no. Other than another terrorist. I don't know. No, what's strange about it? It's unusual.
Have you ever been in a New York subway at rush hour?
Actually, I have, and yeah. I don't like the subways. They're scary.
Rush hour, they are packed like sardines in these cars, and you saw it when they showed the internal footage that they had. You got a feeling of how tight things were. What's the worst injury that anybody sustained in the...
Well, I saw people were shot. I saw people with blood.
Where?
I don't know, Steve. I don't know.
Well, there are no fatalities.
That's unusual. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's more than unusual to how many shots do you know? How many?
I do not know. Hey,
by the way, I'm throwing these questions out. If Brian doesn't have the answers, we'll take them from the audience. But the bottom line is there were a lot of shots.
Oh yeah. Well, the gun itself had to have at least 10 rounds in it. With that one, but he had extended magazines. Yeah.
Yeah. But so it was up like 20, 30 shots.
And I don't know how many times he changed clips.
How do you get in the New York subway in rush hour, packed like sardines, pull out a gun, and at random shooting wildly around, and nobody gets mortally wounded?
Yeah, well,
strike you?
Divine intervention. I mean, I don't know.
It's more than divine intervention.
Well, what are you thinking?
Well, I think it's obvious from what I read. All the injuries I read about were leg wounds.
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't pay attention to where people got shot, so I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the shots all were.
So he held the gun down to his side when he was firing.
I think the idea of shooting off a gun during rush hour, 30 some odd shots, which I think was the total. Somebody will give us that from the audience. And not fatally injuring anybody, I think the odds are infinitesimal unless they were trying not to kill anybody. What reaction to that?
No, I'm going to disagree with you. Based on what the audio I heard of this guy who's a lunatic, I think he is a. I don't know how crowded the subways are. Well, I don't know if they're. I did, but I don't know if they were they packed in like sardines when he fired. Well, because of that, he may not have had enough. Someone told me 33 rounds, by the way. He may not have had enough space to pull out the gun and hold it out like you normally would, and he kept it down to his side. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. That's what it could be.
To see if that. On the other hand, maybe I'm just.
You're not telling me this guy didn't want to kill anybody.
I think the level of seriousness of injury indicate, based on the coverage I listened to, you'd have to. I don't think it could be duplicated without trying. I think he was on the floor shooting at legs.
Because he couldn't get the gun out.
No, he had the gun out. The gun was out and got fired, but all the shots were low. They were like leg shots.
Hold on. Well, that's what I mean. Is he had the gun down to his side, close to his body, because he didn't have room to hold the gun out.
I don't have answers on this. I just have questions of issues that bother me. and that was one that just struck anybody else, and if anybody else could explain it.
Okay, well let me give out the number and let's take some calls, because that I had not thought about it the way you did too much, honestly. So our number 1-888.
Fun about talk radio.
Yeah, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Let's take a call or two and see if anybody has some more intel. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Wendy from Delray.
Hey, Wendy and Delray, what's up?
Well, the person actually, I saw a video yesterday. The guy wasn't inside the wagon of the train. He was in between. So he threw first the guy, and then you can see another. And when he opens the door again, and he started shooting, so he basically couldn't see, which was good. But
what are the odds of? Let me ask you this, ma'am. Have you ever been to New York?
Yes, many times.
Okay, so you're familiar with the New York subways, as I am.
Yes,
I used to ride the subways, and I used to ride the subways when I was in high school. An hour a day, an hour to school, and an hour from school. So you're familiar with the New York subways. What are the ideas of getting in a crowded New York subway, pulling out a gun and taking 30 shots at random, and nobody getting
killed,
seriously injured? What are the chances of that?
Well, the chances are actually there for somebody to be killed, but the person, like when you see the videos of the other person like recording of what was happening, he's in a bad position, like where he was located. So that's what basically kind of like he couldn't be straight up, like and shooting everybody, you know? Like it was just more like an inconvenient location where he was at, and that's why he just basically, that's why he could, you know.
Well, whatever it is, you fired a gun into a crowded New York subway train in morning, what we call morning drive in the biz, you know, in morning rush hour. I think it's really, I think the odds of nobody getting seriously injured, unless they were trying not to kill people. And by the way, we're saying they. Has it been established that there was more than one, or is this guy the only?
They're saying he's the only one.
Only one, yes. It's only one.
If you believe their story.
I'm sorry?
If you believe their story. I mean, this guy was on the terror watch list of the FBI.
Did not know.
The terror watch list was that.
I'm reading some of the stories in the New York Post about it, and I'm not getting answers to all of your questions, and no one's theorizing on this other than you about why no one. Listen, you got a 9. This is a 9mm. The gun did jam, I believe, didn't it jam? Yeah. A 9mm is a. By the way, thanks for the call, Delray. Is a very powerful gun. He was firing rounds off pretty quick. It is a miracle that no one was killed. I think he only hit 10. Really hit them. You know, there's some others that were injured.
Either it's a miracle, or there's a reason for it, other than a miracle.
Well, that sounds crazy to me. That sounds crazy to me that he didn't want to kill people. That sounds crazy.
Very difficult. What I remember of New York subway trains during morning rush hour, it would be very difficult to pull off 33 shots and not have anyone dead or near dead. During all the coverage, all the reports we were getting, which were rushed.
And he's still, so far as the last report I saw, they haven't gotten him yet. I don't know if you've gotten some new information since I've been on the air. I've been seeing a break. Yeah. Keystone Cops. You know, Keystone Cops.
Somebody in the audience will be able to explain that to me. And maybe I'm just getting overly paranoid.
Well, you know, I think people, you know, one thing that's happened when we've seen what the press and everything have done to President Trump, there's just such a distrust of the media. We don't believe it. People don't believe anything we hear from the media anymore. You know, we just don't. I mean, you know, so I think we're suspicious of everything now. It seems to me.
I'm saying at this point, it's not going out on a limb that much. There's much more to the story than we know.
Well, the guy is if you've seen his video.
Psycho.
Well, I don't think he's with it enough to. I think it's hard to shoot people with a 9mm and not kill them. It's a powerful gun at pretty close range.
Exactly right. And then when you add that times 33, because it was 33 shots we've determined were taken. Just strange. I can't believe I'm the only one that. Are any of these people have answers who were on?
I have not seen anyone speculate on what you're talking about in any of the press accounts. I just skimmed through every story in the New York Post about this, and no one's even commented on that. So that's, that's that. All right, listen, our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Now, I have there's a story behind this, and I did this very early this morning. I made a new commercial for Mike Lindell this morning before the show, which you're going to hear in a moment. And I was inspired for this commercial by Jimmy Kimmel, low-life liberal jerk Jimmy Kimmel, one of the late-night guys. I saw online Jimmy Kimmel in his opening monologue was ripping on Mike Lindell. And, now remember Mike Lindell was talking last week at the Trump rally that 12 TV stations will not carry the commercials with with him in them. Remember we were talking about this, Steve? And this was last week. And I played that clip a few times on the air last week. And then last night, Jimmy Kimmel, in his opening monologue, he's got an actor who imitates Mike Lindell, and Jimmy Kimmel was making fun of Mike Lindell for not being allowed to be in his own commercials. And he said he compared Mike Lindell to the Marlboro Man, which of course people, and Joe Camel, because cigarettes. He's comparing pillows to deadly cigarettes. And they did a very disgusting, very outrageous and offensive bit that they call a comedy bit about Mike Lindell, about this, and they played the clip of Mike Lindell talking at the Trump rally about how these 12 TV stations will not allow him to be in his own commercials. So I thought it was pretty. So I took that clip because I had it, and I made a commercial for Mike Lindell about it, and about the cancel culture that he's dealing with. And so you'll start to hear this commercial today. Here it is. So let's take our break, and I'll play you this new Mike Lindell commercial I made this morning that was inspired by this disgusting bit they did attacking him on Jimmy Kimmel last night. Here we go. We'll take a break. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. We'll be back after this.
There's no greater friend to President Trump and the MAGA movement than the inventor of the My Pillow, Mike Lindell. He's been canceled by everyone. Banks, Home Shopping Network, QVC, Kohl's, Bed Bath & Beyond, the list goes on. Canceled by everyone but us. Here's Mike Lindell with a message for MAGA.
I had 12 TV stations just the other day now say that I couldn't be in the commercials, that can only say My Pillow. I cannot personally be in them. So I want you to think about that, where they're coming to cancel out this country and they want my voice stopped. That's why everybody's got to speak up. And believe me, they cancel, they will never get to sell my product again. Just like those box stores. When you leave, it's goodbye. Have a nice day. So we're kind of in a unique situation. If you buy all the products, you buy the slippers, buy everything we make, you're not only supporting getting everything we're doing to save our country, but you're getting a good product in place. So it's not like a normal donation. Help me out. I've never asked for help other than to buy my products,
So do what Mike Lindell says. Go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code KANE and save up to 66%. MyPillow.com, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection injection, an extremely effective treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the Biostation West Delray. Our custom compounded products.
Steve Kane Show. Yeah, I know.
Function, state-of-the-art testing, and the most current treatment options all available in one place, the Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pinch
I know, it's
needles in your hands
disgusting.
and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all.
I made both of those commercials at 4 a.m. this morning. The Mike Lindell and the Dr. Gupta commercial.
754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve's here. It's the Steve Kane Show. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. All right, so if you have any thoughts on the subway shooter and Steve's theory, you are certainly welcome to call in. I had a couple audio clips I wanted to play. I did play the subway shooter earlier, so I'm not going to play those right now. But yeah. Oh yeah, I did that at 4 a.m. this morning. Not bad for 4 a.m. You know, the Dr. Gupta one I did at 4:15 this morning. The new Dr. Gupta one. I was busy early this morning, Steve. I was inspired to do all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Well, I'm a morning person. You know, this transgender thing is so strange and bizarre, but it seems to me that there's been like this huge recruitment drive by someone to recruit transgender people to become school teachers, because it seems almost every day I'm hearing some story of a transgender incident in a classroom, and the teachers record it and put it online. I found a video I'm going to play you the audio of. This is a first grade teacher in their classroom in a video conference. They are transgendered. They are a biological woman who is now a man, and they're talking to first grade students about how doctors, when you know, doctors that deliver babies, misgender babies when they're born. See, I thought when the doctors delivered a baby, they see if they're PP, no PP, and they boy, girl, that's it, right? Well, that practice is old school. And this first grade teacher is telling his students that doctors are misgendering babies when they're born. And he was misgendered. And it's hard for me to believe this stuff's even real, but it is. This is a first grade teacher in a conference call talking to students, talking to colleagues about doctors misgendering babies at birth. Listen.
And something cool about me, Miss Hammond? All right. So something that's really cool and unique.
See, this is one of those icebreaker things that they're doing. Like you got to say something cool about you that people may not know, you know, and get an interesting thing so people relate to you. So they're going to share this as an icebreaker that they're doing here.
And something cool about me, Miss Hammond? All right. So something that's really cool and unique about who I am is that I am transgender. So we touched a little bit about that at the beginning of this week in the book that Miss Hammond read, but I'm going to give you my explanation about what it means to be transgender as well. So when babies are born, the doctor looks at them and they make a guess about whether the baby is a boy or a girl.
Now, they're not guessing. They're not guessing. They're looking to see if there's a pee-pee or not, right? That's how you decide. Okay, I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Traditionally.
Well, apparently that's guesswork now. Okay, so this is a first grade teacher in their classroom.
I guess that's a boy.
Or no, not anymore, Steve.
It means to be transgender as well. So when babies are born, the doctor looks at them and they make a guess about whether the baby is a boy or a girl based on what they look like. And most of the time that guess is 100% correct. There are no issues whatsoever. But sometimes the doctor is wrong. The doctor makes an incorrect guess. When the doctor makes a correct guess, that's when a person is called cisgender. When a doctor's guess is wrong, that's when they are transgender. So I'm a man, but when I was a baby, the doctors told my parents I was a girl.
Okay, so when this first grade teacher was born, there was no pee-pee. So the doctor said to the parents, "This is a girl." And at that time, the doctor, who was guessing, just guessed, there's no penis, so this is a girl, misgendered this individual, and then they lived a huge portion of their life being misgendered as a girl.
That's when they are transgender. So I'm a man, but when I was a baby, the doctors told my parents I was a girl. And so my parents gave me a name that girls typically have and bought me clothes that girls typically wear. And until I was 18 years old, everyone thought I was a girl. And this was super, super uncomfortable for me because I knew that wasn't right. The way I like to describe it is like wearing a super itchy sweater. The longer you wear it, the itchier it gets, and the only way to make the itching stop is to have everyone see and know the person that you really are. So when I was 18, I told my family and my friends that I'm really a boy, and it was like this huge weight had been lifted off of my shoulders, and I had the freedom to be who I truly am. And even though this experience is super challenging sometimes, it made me the person I am, and I'm super proud to be transgender.
Okay, that's it. That's your first grade teacher in the classroom. Icebreakers, kids. Yeah.
Matter that that whole thing is a fantasy fiction. I mean,
It's their reality.
About that.
It's their truth.
So let them keep it to themselves.
You know, when
you don't teach it in the schools.
When I was in school, it's insane. When I was in school, I don't think we knew anything about our teachers' personal lives. They didn't go and make speeches about their personal life. They didn't even talk about husbands and things. I don't remember any of that. And there's been a massive recruitment drive of transgenders into the education profession to change our culture. You know, I was watching a TV show the other night, like a scripted drama, not the news, The Rookie. It's on ABC. It's a cop show. And what they're doing on television shows now is they're changing the roles of men and women. They had this storyline. They have a lady cop, and she proposed to her boyfriend, and he said yes. And then later on, he wasn't happy because he wanted to have a real proper wedding, and he didn't like this idea of eloping. And he had dreamed of having a wedding his whole life and a big. Those are the woman's lines. A guy doesn't care about the big wedding and doesn't dream about it all their life, but they assign the women's lines to the men and the men's lines to the women. There's a big. They call it toxic masculinity. There's a big move in the education system, like with this misgendered person, and television and movies to change American culture in ways that I really don't even fully understand. This is so strange. This is another school teacher who teaches older kids, not the first grade, but teaches older kids. Listen to this.
White people do this thing where
By the way, this teacher is white. I forgot to say, this is a white teacher.
White people do this thing where we create spaces and are a part of spaces that are white only, not by statute, but by default. So circumstances allow a space to continue to be white only, even though there's no rule that says white only. What you'll hear as a red flag to recognize these spaces is language like, "Oh, we are open to everyone. We just live in a very white area," or "We just haven't had any black applicants," or "No students of color have applied to this program." Black, Indigenous, and people of color are expected to just accept that these spaces exist and that it's not intentional that these are racist or whites only. But then if people of color begin to organize and intentionally create spaces that are for them, white people, we get all, well, isn't that segregation? Aren't you trying to divide us? Why aren't I allowed to go there? So then you end up with these protests over segregation that are really just about white people's feelings of getting one excluded from a space, and two, worrying that people are going to say mean things about them in that space and they're not going to get to defend themselves. And that's the reason why we shouldn't be in some of those spaces in the first place.
Okay, yeah, so she's talking about segregated places where whites are not allowed. You know, these are teachers and in classrooms in America, and this is the Obama generation. These people were young when Obama was president, came up through the Obama. I remember people used to talk, what was that education plan that, Common Core. Remember people used to be talking about Common Core? All of these teachers were educated in the public school under Common Core. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but we have maybe millions of really wackadoodle activist teachers in our classrooms in this country that are on another planet. And I don't play these clips to be funny. They have students, and that teacher there, she has about 100, 150 students a day. We're in for some serious trouble because there's brainwashing, indoctrination going on in things beyond imagination.
This is organized.
It's very organized. It's very yes, yeah. It's a nationwide thing. These are teachers from every aspect of the country. Yes, there's.
If I was a teacher and people came to me and said, "Can you devise a political program that would guarantee that in the next election only
yeah. Oh, so what are you saying? Republicans are behind this? They might as well. Oh, you think it was a miscalculation?
The people are miscalculation. You might say that. The ones that benefit from this are those of us whose feet are on the ground.
Yeah.
Who believe in supporting the normal status quo.
See, you know what I was. Yeah. Well, let me.
They don't know where the boundary lines are, and they just go plunging ahead until they reach a point.
Yeah.
Where they self-destruct.
Well, radical activists, liberal activists, have infiltrated things. Like, I have this clip. This is the subway shooter, okay? And he made some videos he posted online. I played them earlier. Let me play. It fits into what our theme here. This is his first video. This is the subway shooter talking. This is obviously prior to the shootings.
And the main thing about the story of black people in this country is that there's nothing over here. No, you're not free. You're not at home. No, this is not over. The Emancipation Proclamation didn't stop. The Civil Rights Movement didn't stop a thing. This train is still moving. And it's moving in a direction that's going to take you to your death.
Okay, now that was before the shooting. So I didn't have time to put the bleeps in because I was too busy producing commercials this morning. But I cut out the F word and the N word he said in there. But the way he's talking is this critical race theory stuff we've been hearing. The left, radical leftist, between BLM and this transgender thing, have done a major infiltration in the school system and in media and have brainwashed. I mean, these people make the Black Panthers in 1968 sound conservative. They're this radical. And we're in a bad state in this country. We are really in a bad state. And I don't know what we can do about it. We need to have a major recruitment drive for teachers.
This is where you and I part realities, okay? I think this thing, rather than us being in a bad state, and I can understand how you could get that impression superficially, but other than being in a bad state, I think we're in a... I think what's going on now is the process of getting rid of this crap once and for all. You understand what I mean?
You think they've gone too far? They've gone too far.
So if you look at the last election in Virginia...
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
They've got what is probably the most I don't know the right word. They've got what is one of the most activist voting blocs, which are parents, totally against them. And they're getting killed and they don't realize it. They're committing suicide.
Well, you know, parents don't like it when people mess with their kids. It's that people freak out when you mess with their kids. Yeah.
That's happened, and they don't know enough to...
Well, but you know what? These wackadoodle teachers, you hear them say this all the time. They refer to their students as their kids. They think the classroom is filled with their own kids. They think that they have a parental responsibility. And we have maybe millions of teachers, certainly hundreds of thousands, it seems, that have gone into the teaching profession to spread this garbage. Listen, if you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and go right to your calls. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. My name's Brian Craig. Steve is here. And, of course, the Steve Kane Show celebrating 45 years on the radio this year. That's right. That's great. That's older than many of you in this audience. We'll be right back after this.
Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
Steve Kane Show. Hey, Jim, hold on.
Dealt with in my entire life. We took a car over there that was not being used yet. You know, it belonged to my 90-year-old dad. Everybody I had taken it to before was charging an astronomical amount of money. But when we took it over there, Eddie took a look at it, and I gotta say that this man fixed the car. It's running like a charm. Anybody that needs a mechanic, I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Uh-oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs or Any Lab Test Now of Boca. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for...
All right, we're back, and let's go right to the phones. Jim from New York, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
All right.
Hey, Jim.
So anyway, good morning, Steve. So, a couple points of interest. My kids started college in this past fall, and at the end of the first semester, he said, look, I'm doing this online. I'm going to do like a asynchronous online course because 2 of his 5 classes, he had these crazy teachers like you just had on now, and he said, I can't take this. They make you feel like garbage because, we're not, because we're Caucasian, and he said, I'm done with it. And he wasn't the only one, so there's a lot of kids who, if we as parents bring them up the right way, conservatively, they will reject this nonsense. And, and I think that a lot of people during COVID, when they heard these crazy teachers in the background, when the homeschooling, caught on to this crap.
Yeah, well, the teachers are getting worse. And, what's happened, that clip that all these clips you hear are clips of, yeah.
Getting worse.
Yeah. I hear more teachers every day doing this crap.
Good. What's getting worse, or what's getting more prevalent, is the backlash. What you're hearing and that you're saying is bad, it's not bad, it's good. It's the backlash against what they're doing.
Well, I remember, many years ago, don't go anywhere, Jim. Another caller's on hold, stand by. We're going to get to everybody. We had we don't have time to get into the details of it, but you had a battle with GLSEN, which was a gay rights activist group, and there was an issue in front of the school board that they won. and you said, don't worry about it. They're liberal gay activists. They have no boundaries. They'll push, and screw up. And it wasn't within 6 months they did something. Remember this SpongeBob is gay thing they did at a kindergarten? So what's happened with liberals? Liberals have no boundaries, and you hear they're way off in the wilderness here, and they're pushing, and they're freaking people out with this. And these videos, these clips I play, come from TikTok. These teachers make videos and post them online, and they live in this liberal transgender bubble. I don't think they realize how upsetting they are to parents. I don't think they have any clue.
Realize they're suicidal is what they are.
Yeah.
Realize that. They think that this is promoting their way of life. It's not promoting it. It's getting the American people to the point where we're fed up enough that we're going to do something about it.
Yeah.
That happens at the electoral level.
Yeah.
No, he said, I can't deal with this. So I think Steve's right. They push so far that there's even liberals who have to look at this and say, this is crazy. It's outrageous.
Yeah, it is, Jim.
The thing in New York yesterday, of course, it's being reported here. And then Eric Adams, he kind of had a contradictory statement against the commissioner, NYPD commissioner, whether or not it was a terror act and all this. So that's a whole.
Well, Eric Adams, I'm telling you, Steve, I know you were there during Dinkins, and but this guy's going to go down worse than Dinkins, because this guy does nothing. He sleeps all day, goes out and parties at the nightclubs all night. This guy's going to have a Marion Barry scandal. There's no way you're going to the New York clubs every night and you're not involved in things.
You're spot on about that. You're involved in something or some things, but I have a feeling that this story yesterday, now, and I hate to say it because it's a sad state of affairs, but because of the amount of pigment in this man's skin, he's going to be like the guy at Christmas. You're not going to know his name or face in another 3 weeks.
Yeah, just like the Bernie Sanders Democrat that shot up the Republican baseball game and shot Steve Scalise. I'd have to Google him to find out what his name is. They disappeared that because he was a Democrat.
And it disappeared quickly.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian and Steve.
Hey, Andrea.
Good morning, Andrea.
So, I was just listening to, I guess I might be behind a little bit. Brian, you played the transgender teacher and then the woman who was speaking about white spaces.
Yes, racially segregated areas at a school where whites should not be permitted.
Okay, well, first and foremost, we've seen that before, and what I would like to know from this woman is, if she's so concerned about white spaces, why isn't she speaking to people like Oprah and Colin Kaepernick and all the leaders from BLM who moved to white neighborhoods? Why isn't she should be...
Well, that teacher, by the way, is white, and that's white liberal guilt times infinity. I mean, that's,
This whole transgender thing, and I live in a hyper-liberal community. Like, you're seeing men dressed as women, they're cashiers at the grocery store. I've seen people transition, men to women, women to men. That's the community I live in. But this is what I'm going to say about this whole transgender thing, especially about your children. Number one, where is the church? The churches should be rising up and on the march, because the truth of the matter is we can't blame these people for doing what they're doing because we're allowing it and we're tolerating it.
Well, we do not, it's funny you say that. I haven't thought about that in a while, but currently we do not have an evangelical leader in America, right? They've all been disgraced. We don't have one.
That's my problem.
Jerry Falwell Jr. was a swinger. Shocker. It's true.
The churches. Where are the pastors? Where is the pushback for these policies that go against every principle of the church?
They're gone. The churches are in hiding. And I mean, think about it, Steve. It's so interesting you say that on, because I didn't thought about this too much. There is not a single Christian leadership voice in America today. We've always had one. The Christian Coalition, Pat Robertson, Jerry Falwell. There aren't any anymore. There is not a Christian minister leader in this country right now. I can't think of one. Can you?
Problem. And you know what? If it's not going to be the pastors, it should be the community.
Well, if you look at the churches today, the big mega churches now are like fake. They're the pastors with the cut off jeans and the rips in the knees, and they're doing hip hop things and all this stuff. You know what I'm talking about. You know, yeah.
Do, but the people of the faith, let me tell you, not only did God prepare you for peace, God prepares you for war. And if you do not stand up against this, that is how...
All right. Well, listen, Andrea, we got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. Everyone else on hold, stand by. We're going to take a break for the Gold Report with William Youngerman, and then we will be back with your call. So don't go anywhere. 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is the number. Back after this.
There's no greater friend to President Trump and the MAGA movement than the inventor of the My Pillow, Mike Lindell. He's been canceled by everyone. Banks, Home Shopping Network, QVC, Kohl's, Bed Bath & Beyond, the list goes on. Canceled by everyone but us. Here's Mike Lindell with a message for MAGA.
I had 12 TV stations just the other day now say that I couldn't be in the commercials, that can only say My Pillow. I cannot personally be in them. So I want you to think about that, where they're coming to cancel out this country and to, they want my voice stopped. That's why everybody's got to speak up. And believe me, they cancel, they will never get to sell my product again. Just like those box stores. When you leave, it's goodbye. Have a nice day. So we're kind of in a unique situation. If you buy all the products, you buy the slippers, buy everything we make, you're not only supporting, getting everything we're doing to save our country, but you're getting a good product in place. So it's not like a normal donation to help me out. I've never asked for help other than to buy my products,
So do what Mike Lindell says. Go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code KANE and save up to 66%. MyPillow.com, promo code KANE, KANE, or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the BioStation West Delray. At BioStation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, we are back, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated right here in Boca with the first look at gold and the precious metals. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking this morning?
Metals looking very strong. The CPI index came out at the highest on record, up 11.2% year over year, and that's the biggest gain on record. That pushed the metals right up to $1,982 on gold. Yesterday we saw a rise of $11.10 on gold, closing out the day at $1,965.20, while silver was up 26 cents at $25.33 the ounce. Platinum was down $12 at $9.65, and palladium was down $3 at $22.54. The rise continues on those CPI numbers this morning. Like I said, gold got getting up to $1,180. Right now it's at $1,177. That's up $10.80. $1,977, up $10.80. Silver up 32 cents at $25.65 the ounce. Platinum up $15 at $980, and palladium up $54 at $2,300 the ounce. So inflation is building a strong base, and it doesn't look like it's going to cease any rapidly rising prices. More concerns about supply flows as China is shut down in so many areas, and the lockdown there is going to cause more shortages in this country.
Yeah, now, yesterday you were talking about different types of gold coins you have. I wanted to ask you specifically, William Youngerman, we just have a little bit of time, but if you, the two of the most popular coins are the American Gold Buffalo and the American Gold Eagle. Can you tell people about those coins, what makes them different, and why one may be better than the other or not?
They're just the difference is that they're American-made products, and a lot of people prefer something that is made in America. However, we sell thousands of the 1-ounce gold kangaroos from the Perth Mint in Australia, as well as their 1-ounce and 10-ounce gold bars, because they're quite a bit cheaper. Actually, the premium on U.S. products seems to be much higher, basis the cost from the government. So we are prefer the U.S. product.
And the gold kangaroos, those are Australian, and they're 1-ounce coins, and you have the bars on those. All right, now listen, guys. Give William Youngerman a call at williamyoungerman.com, or stop at East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, have a great day, and we'll talk tomorrow. Okay. All right, take care. All right, Steve, you want to go back to the phones? Okay, we'll do that. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi there. This is Mike from Oklahoma. Done several studies on the Google Homes and the Amazon Alexas at our office, and they are absolutely 24/7.
Oh, yeah, and recording you. And what Alexa, for those that are just missing, I was talking about this in the last hour, my wife, and I've heard people talk about this, but I've experienced it in a way that was that obvious and detailed. It was scary.
Ads on all kinds of things for that stuff.
And this is the thing, okay? You're telling me, in my house, we talk a lot about Trump. We talk a lot about MAGA. And we do. And, we got the Trump rallies on when they're on. If Trump's in the news with an interview, we're watching it. It would be, I would find it impossible to believe that they are not using these devices in our homes to monitor Trump supporters. They've already said that we're dangerous people after the Capitol breach. I mean, this is a scary thing that's going on, and I don't think people realize it, how scary it is. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, caller. Yeah. Go ahead. Well, why do you think they do? It's not. They say it's just for marketing purposes, but this is the government is listening to all of us.
Every device requires an account that you sign into, and that account has an advertiser ID, so everything's linked together.
Yeah. Steve, you're lucky that you're like tech free. Thanks for the call. You're lucky that you're not into all this tech stuff, Steve. Because not a lot of good comes from it in so many ways if you think about it. Yeah, I know, but it's the world we live in now. You can't function without these things. Yeah, I know. So I'm predicting this subway shooter guy, that story's going to disappear right quick. As soon as they got him in custody, there'll be a little bit, then it's going to be gone. They're going to disappear that story. They really don't want, this guy, his BLM rants, they just don't want this narrative out there. It's going to be gone, just like everything else, that doesn't fit the narrative. Now, if the guy was, my first thought was, I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but, this story is, it's a blip of a story, but it's a big deal. You've seen this story in California where they've stopped postal deliveries in Santa Monica because postmen were attacked. That attacking a mailman is a federal crime. It's like attacking a federal agent. And one of the biggest problems we have, I was talking to Richie about this earlier. He's blaming all these abstract things on the rise in crime. It's very, people have lost fear of the police in this country. That's it. In New York, they don't have the bail, and they have other people where they don't have bail in other cities. People have lost fear of consequences from law enforcement in the court system. So people are out there doing crime because they'll be out soon. A lot of these people, they don't mind doing a little bit of a stretch, over the weekend or something. It's no big deal. And this attack on the mailmen and the reaction to it is very strange. You would think, because I've wondered about that with mailmen, because I always thought that, the very bad, rough neighborhoods, they get mail too. And I always wondered who got those. Are the new guys the ones they have to deliver the mail in Cracktown? I don't know. But you would think that the Postal Service would get involved to protect their postal carriers that are being physically attacked and assaulted, delivering the mail to people's homes in Santa Monica, California, and they're not doing that. They just say, no more mail. No more mail. If Trump were still in office, the Postal Service have their own federal agents. They would have federal agents from the Postal Service out there protecting these postal workers. This administration, the entire Democrat Party today is catering to these weirdo school teachers we were talking about, pro-criminal people. We're in an era in this country, I don't think we've realized really how bad it's gotten for the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party no longer exists. It's like a party in name only. It's been taken over by extreme, radical anarchists. I mean, basically, Steve. I mean, I can't think of any other way to say it.
Moving towards what I say ultimately will be a positive climax. The ultimate being the election.
Well, that's easy to say when you, but if you got a bullet in your leg on the subway, it hurts. I mean, it's just there's a lot of suffering going on out there.
I understand, but that's life. I mean, that's how the process of life works. Everything is a circle. It goes around and round.
Yeah, the circle of life. The circle of life. That's the Lion King. Well, that's a different song. The Circle of Life is the Lion King, the Disney movie. Yeah.
My time.
Yeah. Well, listen, this is what will happen. There's going to be a massive, massive red tsunami. Bill Maher was talking to Joe Rogan this week, and even Bill Maher, a lifelong Democrat, donated $1 million of his own money to Obama's re-election campaign. Even he says the Democrats have gone too far. They've gone over the cliff, and there's going to be a big Republican wave. That's it. They've just gone too crazy.
You can take that fact, and I would agree with you on the basic fact. You can take that fact, and you can, depending on how you process it, you can view it as good news or bad news. You can view it as we're getting closer to the ultimate play. It's going to have to get worse before it gets better. Have you ever?
Yeah, from you. Every day. Yeah. Every day.
And something, I consider it a public service, if you want to know.
Well, we're out of time, so do you want to sign off this public service?
We thank you for joining us. We will be back tomorrow to do it all again. Until then, on behalf of my associate producer, Lori Kane, my partner and co-host, Brian Craig, and you know me, I'm Steve. See you tomorrow. God bless America.
Brian Craig here. Come meet Steve Kane and me this Saturday from 11.
Well, guys, make sure you like the video before you go. If you're new, please subscribe. And I uploaded a new podcast here last night, a little late, because YouTube had a global outage. So if you missed the podcast last night, check it out. It was a pretty good show. But I got to run. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Don't go without liking the video.